I'm sorry, man. This is my seat.
Oh, shit, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Fucking dumbass.
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Just pick your ass up out of that Italian leather chair and get the fuck out of this room right now. Come on, let's go, Schlep Rock. Out. That's it. We expect everyone here to treat their coworkers with a certain level of respect. Okay, before we get started, I have one question. Has anyone here passed the Series 7 exam?
I have a Series 7 license.
Good for you. You can get out too.
What? Why?
We don't hire brokers here. We train new ones. That's it, Skippy. Pack your shit. Let's go. Okay, here's the deal. I'm not here to waste your time, okay? I certainly hope you're not here to waste mine. So I'm gonna keep this short. Become an employee of this firm, you will make your first $1 million within 3 years, okay? I'm gonna repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of your first day of employment at JT Marlin. There is no question as to whether or not you'll become a millionaire working here. The only question is how many times over. You think I'm joking? I am not joking. I am a millionaire. It's a weird thing to hear, right? I tell you, it's a weird thing to say. I am a fucking millionaire. I guess how old I am. 27. You know what that makes me here? A fucking senior citizen. This firm is entirely comprised of people your age, not mine. Lucky for me, I happen to be very fucking good at my job or I'd be out of one. You guys are the new blood. You're gonna go home with the Kesef. You are the future big swinging dicks of this firm. Now, y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't fucking have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required. You are required to work your fucking ass off at this firm. We want winners here, not pikers. A piker walks at the bell. Piker asks how much vacation time you get in the first year. Vacation time? People come and work at this firm for one reason, to become filthy rich. That's it. We're not here to make friends. We're not saving the fucking manatees here, guys. You want vacation time? Go teach third grade public school. Okay. First 3 months at the firm or as a trainee, you make $150 a week. After you're done training, you take the Series 7. You pass that, you become a junior broker, and you're opening accounts for your team leader. You open 40 accounts, you start working for yourself. Sky's the limit. A word or two about being a trainee, friends, your parents, the other brokers, whoever, they're going to give you shit about it. It's true. $150 a week, not a lot of money, but pay them no mind. You need to learn this business, and this is the time to do it. Once you pass the test, none of that's going to matter. Your friends are shit. They tell me you made 25 grand last month. They're not going to fucking believe you. Fuck them. Fuck them. Parents don't like the life you lead? Fuck you, mom and dad. See how it feels when you're making their fucking Lexus payments. Now go home and think about it. Think about whether or not this is really for you. If you decide it isn't, listen, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not for everyone. Thanks. But if you really want this, you call me on Monday and we'll talk. Just don't waste my fucking time. Okay, that's it.
Wait, you own a brokerage?
It's funny how things are. Just don't give me bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
392, switch it out with a cat. I got a million right here on my lap. Bought a new spider, then take out the plastic. I stop on that 40, yeah, hit the gas. Rico and pants, they late to relax. Crocodile Dundee, don't see on my hat. Alligator shoe on the pedal when I press it. Alligator shoe on the pedal when I press it. You know we take 5 out of that is a fact. None of these girls got strings attached. I don't get my blue check. I be dressing. I gotta teach these bitches a lesson. She fell in love, she's a ugly wreck. I made it out, I ain't going back. Killing these niggas in all black. Look at these bitches tryna broadcast.
Bad, it's who? It's not even nobody bad, it's you. Come on, baby, you know that I'm bagging you. I had to get a Louis on bag or two. Niggas no one that is bad as you. We got no baddies too. Made it straight to the top, got a roll out the door. Keep on asking me shit, tryna find a trump. I said, baby, I'm better off lying to you. I said, baby, I'm better off lying to you. You will never be able to find a room. Everything gon' be designer true. Everything gon' be designer true. All of my diamonds, they pink or they blue. All of my diamonds, they yellow or white. I put that lean in the fan of no sprite. Rosie got ice in the banner, right? We shot the up at a candlelight. My boys, they got choppers, can't stand a fight. My boys, they got choppers, can't stand a fight. We burn on the into the commas. Niggas be mad cause I'm big as Obama. Put that on my game, put that right on my mama. Watch out for snakes, but these niggas, they serpents. Pull up big body, lay back with the curtains. Bulletproof, all up and take I'm nervous. Bulletproof, I was like this is suburban. I fuck your bitch, I ain't do that on purpose. Had to say bye bye that baby, you're pretty. Keep that out on the top, I feel like I'm disturbing. Different colors, stones, they look like a shirt. I'ma kill that pussy, get convicted for murder. I ain't with the service, bitch, we pay for me first. Diamonds on my neck, I talk to emerging. Come on, bitch, now tell me what is the verdict. Come on, baby, tell me what is the verdict. My pocket's biggest excursion. I be smoking weed until I get breathe. She in love with this style, that's why she can't leave. I can never walking back on my knees. So my new girl, she black and Japanese. She's stealing all of my I don't think these boy ready. No, I don't think these boy ready. Ain't get no friendly, they came with machete. Beat up the pot, almost called it domestic. Might buy the black beauty up like it's Tetris. Too many farms, I thought in my session. Too many farms, I thought in my section. Come out the rollie, this shit is a blessing.
Chrome heart over the machete. Been on your block like a fitted. Rip up the art of my feelings, forget it. Cause shit the yard just for the aesthetics. Going out my misery thanks to this sound. Laced up in emeralds, straight up from girls. Put out the block to a whole other world. Travel to France, recruit me some girls. Meet me on the front, run the top for a poncho. Yeah, like it's an Indian style. Yeah, smoking on rent by the pound. Young niggas crazy for switch on the 40. Walk niggas down, get them up there recorded. Inside this bitch, fall in order. Turn it down to a quarter. The block hot, bitch, a quarter. My rides get imported. Plug came out of Russia. I'm having spilled out before I got face off. I'm on the island with the cash like Diego. Snowflake when I drip, I got rose gold. Got a flock of these bitches on go mode. Can't name one hood that I can't go. $4 in the hand for the Rolls Royce. Bought a house in the lake with a golf course. Got Korean bitch on my team. Out of white nigga no clean. Bought some bullets in extra magazines. Gang affiliated by all means, enemies. I be chasing me and my team. We didn't bring no clothes, we brought codeine. Got a flight attendant in the bathroom doing dirty favors on me. She gon' do it on the whole group. I tell her, so you ain't even gotta ask. A few space coops and in the stash. Some little tall shit gon' face the dash. I bought them all out for a win fast. I got a ball for a contract, baby. High definition on me, no fugazi. More ammunition, my niggas ready to go crazy. Bitch, my clips hopping out of the safe. No space, y'all on a whole nother level. Y'all niggas crazy, go dance with the devil. 392 hit the switch on whoever.
392, switch it out with a cat. I got it be right here on my lap.
All the new spider that take out the glass. I stuck on that 40, yeah, hit the gas.
They going pants, they late to relax. Crocodile Dundee, y'all see on my hat.
Alligator shoe on the pedal when I press it. Alligator shoe on the pedal when I press it.
You know we say bye bye to that is a fact. None of these girls got strings attached.
I'm get my blue cheese and I be dressing. I gotta teach these bitches a lesson.
She fell in love, she's a ugly wreck. I made it out, I ain't going back.
Killing these niggas in all black. Look at these bitches tryna broadcast.
It is a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday evening, and let me tell you something. It is all about the news with a special edition of Ape News. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff that's going on today. My co-host, and he's still here, Bleach. How are you today?
Chilling, my man. How you doing?
Oh, well, I can't complain. I mean, no one's going to listen to me anyway. What do we? So we had you had some important things to talk about this first and foremost. So I'm.
Oh yeah, I just like if anybody's gonna come up tonight or any night for that matter, from now on, It's not gonna be no interruptions. I want the guys that are speaking about whatever topics they're talking about, for them to, not stop the train, because once you get the train going and then you gotta stop, it's very difficult to pick it back up. So I don't want no more interruptions, because I'm here to learn just as much as you guys are. Because I have nothing to offer. These guys right here, they come in with the DD, they put in the amount of time, the hours that during the day, they're coming in, and I'm here to be like a sponge, absorb everything in. So if you come up here and you start interrupting, you're just gonna get booted out. All right, you're gonna get the ejectocito, all right?
We have some wonderful sound effects tonight, considering this is Ape News. Robert, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Oh, well, I can't complain. Like I said, it's the same shit, just a different toilet. That's normally what it is. So we got some garbage to talk about later on. We're going to answer some questions here at the end of the day. We have Matt. We have, the instigator comes up to go ahead and stop what I'm talking about. Leo.
I'm pretty sure Bleach was talking to me specifically right there. You could have just DM'd
That is-
bro.
Yo, Leo, what you?
I'll drop down
I ain't talking about nobody.
some information tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome there, Leo. Wait, I'm getting word from our outside reporter. She's out there somewhere in the middle of Texas. I think she wants to talk about a decoding cat. Chaotic.
All right, guys, how are you doing tonight?
We can't complain.
Well, I wanted to check back in with you guys. I'm reporting live here from Texas. I was challenged by a certain schizophrenic cat to find the connection between Pulte Holmes and J.P. Morgan Chase.
Now, this is a real decoding cat, right?
That's what his profile picture says, James.
Oh, gotcha. I just wanted to make sure. I know that there's a cat somewhere, but
I'm pretty sure
I don't know if it's Garfield.
I'm pretty sure he's declawed though, so we're safe.
Okay, good. It's Garfield. Got it. Got it.
So I wanted to revisit that really quickly, because I feel like what I'm bringing to the table this evening for everybody to digest is something that I feel like should be like day one information for all apes. And this is a Patrick Byrne video from, it's not recent, it's probably about 10 years old, where he was actually, of all the people out there who have done the DD, who've climbed the mountain, so to speak, on the interconnections and the way that these like basically, you hear them referred to as like banking cartels, but that's really what they are. I mean, it's following the same blueprint as a lot of organized crime rings. Just because it's white collar crime doesn't mean that it's not the same playbook as some of the more interesting movies that we've seen before. Patrick Byrne specifically brings up the movie Goodfellas. A lot of people don't realize how closely a lot of the Wall Street operations mirror the same strategies used in the movie Goodfellas. I can't even stress this enough. As if you're watching The Big Short, follow it up with Goodfellas. If you haven't watched it, it's on a must-watch list. But he talks about all of the interconnections that Wall Street has with actual drug cartels, with terrorist organizations like Hamas. We talked about it a few weeks ago after it happened, but like, there were some short sellers out there who knew about the terrorist attack from Hamas on October 7th and decided to trade on it instead of saying something about it that maybe could have prevented it. There's a lot of really awful things that go on. And now I say that to say this, like, Pulte Holmes is not giving money to Hamas.
No.
Let me clarify there. Although I did kind of halfway want to send an edible arrangement to Pulte's office so that I can say we share an arrangement.
It would be worth it.
That's a little joke for me on behalf of Sal. We've shared an arrangement.
Oh, we like sharing arrangements.
This
It
one
makes
is of
everything funny.
This one is of the edible variety. I think that would be funny. But so I'm gonna post this up in the nest, and this is a video that I saved. It's something that, if you have, it's an hour and 15 minutes long, I believe. It is a little bit long, but it is worth every single minute to watch this if you have time in the car, maybe when you're commuting to work, or like, if you're doing something around the house, just throw some headphones on. It really will make so many things make sense. I jokingly refer to it as the birds and the bees of social media, like FinTwit. The birds and the bees, where do shills come from, mommy? Shills
Mama.
shills come from places like law firms who've been given information ahead of time as to what companies are going to be attacked by short sellers so that they can send proxy people in, sometimes even folks that work for the law firm itself. He gives an example of a very famous case where the owners of that law firm ended up actually doing real prison time for doing this, for getting insider information ahead of the rest of the retail community and putting plants in, shills, real shills, dropping plants in, having them intentionally buy up stocks of companies that they knew were going to be driven down into the ground unfairly by short sellers, so that they could monetize on the damages that were filed in lawsuits later on that they already prepared to have happen. This is a real thing that did happen. This is a real thing. This is all in this Patrick Byrne video. So when you look around and you see these people that are just viciously attacking certain stocks, and it doesn't make any sense. A lot of times it's going to come out at some point. You just have to be aware, because there are people out there who are planted to basically be a part of a lawsuit settlement later on, should things go according to the plan. We'll put it that way.
So chaotic, if I get this straight, we're seeing people that are basically paid influencers that are basically being dropped by specific banking companies that are going ahead and infiltrating the communities that we've made and formed structured in, and they're there to blow it apart and get us to a point where this is going to be put in court for the next 10 to 15 years.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And so, like, they're banking on some of these lawsuit, these law firms that frequently deal with class action lawsuits from investors. Who was the guy that was seen? Who was Brian? What was his name? Who was on the AMC lawsuit that ended up being
Tuttle.
Brian Tuttle. So Brian Tuttle is a really, really good example of somebody who makes a discernible living off of being part of class action lawsuits over stocks. Brian Tuttle is somebody that I would consider to be in the same vein, not as the law firm attorneys, but in a similar sense, in that it seems like he intentionally makes eating shit sandwiches, taking losses so that he can file lawsuits, going for the bigger bucks that way, as part of his investment strategy, which is not really something you're supposed to be doing.
Well, somebody also is paying him
And I
constantly a
personally
lot of
believe
money.
some of these.
Chaotic, you there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I cut in and out for a second.
Go ahead.
So yeah, there are people out there who've been planted by entities. I have more than one influencer that have sent me messages in DMs admitting that there's been infiltration into the community.
They have to be, because they have to
Tony
have
Dong is
some.
one of them.
They
Do you
have
guys
to,
remember
because they have to
Tony
have
Dong?
they have to have their control.
Well, I just think that I think everybody should really take the time to watch this video. And, just for fun, just to kind of mix things up a little bit, take the time to watch Goodfellas and just picture those guys in suits working on Wall Street, because what we're about to see coming up is the art of the bust out. And what the bust out is when they finally set fire to the building at the very, very end for the insurance money.
I mean, like Bartlett.
Exactly.
Wait,
But that's what we're seeing with these swaps, right? What we're seeing with these swaps, where they keep kicking the can and kicking the can and kicking the can. They're borrowing from everywhere they possibly can till they can't borrow anymore. And then what do? Set it all on fire. collect the insurance money, file bankruptcy. That's the end of the bust. That's the bust out. That's the end. That's how this ends. So that UBS situation that's floating around, that is the building that's about to get set on fire.
Kaboom. Kablamo.
Molotov cocktail, my friend. They're just waiting for the right time. They're waiting till they extend and borrow and kick the can as much as they possibly until there's nothing left. Then they're going to set that shit on fire. They're going to throw the Molotov cocktail through the window after hours.
Explosion. Nice little one. You got him.
I'm going to put this in the nest, though. Y'all feel bookmark it, watch it later at your leisure. I do have it saved to my YouTube channel. For my YouTube channel, I'm not monetized or anything like that. Nothing, all of it is for free, but I use my YouTube channel to collect just important videos that I want to save for everybody for later on. Otherwise, I'll lose them in my favorites list.
So with this, you got all this video and all that. Where's the connection between our good friend that, you know, he decided to just come in randomly and purchase like 2 shares, and
well, when we
JP
talk
Morgan.
about connections and talk about, I know there's more that goes into, but JP Morgan Chase is directly affiliated. They were the preferred financial institution for Jeffrey Epstein. And obviously, like we know, that's a very topical discussion this past week, isn't it? Jeffrey Epstein back again. Yeah, I mean, JP Morgan Chase. And I don't know how many times Jamie Dimon has come out to like put on his fake sad face and fucking apologize for like literally aiding and abetting a child trafficker. I don't know why none of those people are in fucking jail. Why is Jamie Dimon not in jail? Like sitting there with his fake ass sad face on, like, oh, we're so sorry, we didn't know. Yeah, you fucking did know. When you get to the level of Pulte Homes, when the original challenge was, because somebody said that we're fighting the people that are involved in child trafficking around the world and wars and all kinds of other conflicts. And it's true. But when you get on the level that Pulte Homes is at, in terms of being a builder, it would be more startling if they didn't have a relationship with JP Morgan. When you get to that level, when you need to finance a certain amount of money, that there's like the rungs of finance get smaller and smaller and smaller the further up the ladder you go. JP Morgan is at the very top. When we talk about in terms of like financial institutions you can borrow money from like that, like a bank, JP Morgan is probably at the very top for the United States.
So basically, JP Morgan has a piece of Pulte.
Pulte Homes has a direct relationship with JP Morgan Chase, like all day, every day, like is a regular part of doing all of their business. It's unavoidable at that level. I can't believe he even said for me to do something so fucking stupid. It's at the top of a very basic Google search.
Gotta get to work.
Yeah, chaotic. Also, remember
The most asinine challenge ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Go ahead, Ed.
Also remember who in 2008 had primary connections with JP Morgan, and who became untouched after that.
Well, I mean, Bernie Madoff, like anybody who's anybody in finance, legitimate or not, anybody who's anybody in finance needing to borrow or deal with transactions over a certain dollar amount, JP Morgan's got their hands in it somewhere.
Well,
it's just almost unavoidable.
They also own the large majority of hedge funds. They fund them.
They financially back them to the DTCC.
Right. Yeah.
That's what they did. So
and when you look at Pulte Homes and who's invested in them, I mean, it's all the usual suspects. Vanguard is going to be, I mean, Vanguard's an interesting situation because historically they're considered to be like one of the most reliable financial institutions to work for. But they got their hands all up in all kinds of funny business around the world, including Evergrande.
Well, BlackRock and Vanguard, they're the same company. They're just split. They're trying to play like
they're two testicles in the same nut.
It's like the government. It's like the government.
What you said is perfect. Like they're two testicles the same nut sack, because they're inseparable. Like they work for the same thing.
Yeah, our Fed,
It's the
They
same
scratch each
agenda.
other's back,
our Fed, our
basically.
Fed
They
is the
scratch each
sack.
other's back, but they're all in the same room.
And the schlong is basically the World Economic Forum.
Our Fed is the sack. The SEC is the fucking blood flow.
No,
And
it's not.
there's a lot more fucking
It's the
nuts in
milk.
that. They're international nuts.
What do you guys think about the repo crashing right now?
We're going to be talking
It was
about that later
inevitable.
on.
But hold
We're
on,
gonna
hold
be
on, hold on. Before he starts crying and shit. What happened, Ghost? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man? So I jumped into I guess AMC call that was against fucking everything. I was just trying to like, get that other side. So I was just like, dude, fucking, of course, fucking all this shit, fucking, because they were like, oh, did you vote against this? Did you do this? And I'm like, of course I fucking voted no against fucking this or whatever. Oh, but you said you voted yes. Oh, you said you voted no. Oh, fucking this. Dude, like, seriously, they are like so adamant about getting fucking Adam Aaron out. And I was like, who are you going to replace him with? Who are you going to replace him with? And it took them so long just to throw out a name. And it's just like, can we have a real fucking conversation? Like, who's gonna do better than fucking Adam Aaron? Like, who's gonna do better? Like, why is that your biggest fucking thing that we need to get rid of the fucking people fucking that have been creating fucking Taylor Swift, Beyonce, credit
Here's
cards,
the
popcorn.
simple answer is that they have to discredit him so that no new investors come into the play. That's it.
And they were attacking me. So like we were having a good conversation for a good amount of time, and then like we had fucking this guy, I guess his name is.
You were having good conversations with Shills? What?
Well, just let me fucking speak. No, I was having a good conversation, respectful, we'll just say respectful conversation. But then they had this guy fucking Ethan come in, and this guy was like, you don't know how to read shit, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Da,
Oh
da, da.
man,
Yo, wait,
And
hold
great
on,
value
hold on,
brand
I'm
Chad.
like,
fight.
Let me
I'm
get at
like,
him real quick. Hold
I'm
on.
like,
This
I'm
guy,
like,
Ghost.
There's the punchline.
yeah, there
this
you
guy,
go, exactly. And I was like, what is going on? Because before all of this, everything was respectful, and then this guy comes in just attacking, and then fucking all these people behind him are like, oh, fucking, he knows exactly what he's talking about. And I even brought up, I'm like, I didn't bring up any single fucking person in this play. I didn't say the one fucking knows what he's talking about. Chris fucking Soka knows what he's talking about. Batman knows what he's talking about. Bleach knows what he's talking about. I didn't bring up anyone's fucking name, and then these people are fucking like, Ethan knows exactly what he's talking about. So what is that, your god? Is that your fucking like leader? Like it's just really fucking crazy that I'm just
Hey,
trying to
Ghost.
fucking I'm just trying to learn
Let me ask
and
you a
fucking
question.
hold on. Let me jump on that because I got something to tell you. If it
I want to hear
wasn't
it.
for fucking Ethan and them fucking lawyers and them fucking jackasses, AMC2 would not be fucking writing new extension contract deadline expirations on AMC2 because they wouldn't be allowed to. The only reason they can extend them contracts out is because of that one additional share that lawsuit added to that contract,
Yeah,
10 plus 1 value.
and that's
Because
exactly what
that got added with the new CUSIP. Since the
yeah, and
underlying
that's exactly
contract has that CUSIP on that one share,
yeah.
they can
That's exactly
reswap them
that,
and
dude.
extend the
Hey,
dates.
that's exactly what I brought up. I'm like, because they brought up the lawsuit with Judge Zern, and I'm like, okay, well, out of the whatever people, how many showed up? 3, and they were like, well, how many people actually got it? And I'm like, I don't care if they got the freaking request the day before, the day of, or whatever. How many people actually showed up for this judgment?
Not yet, James. Not yet.
And they could not answer that. They could not answer that. And they
Wait.
kept saying,
I just got one question, Ghost. Only one question. One question. Right? You know what? It's actually not a question. It's actually like something I want to ask you. Right? So let's say you own a restaurant, and I come in, and I respectfully, I'm telling you that your food is shit inside your restaurant, but I'm respectfully doing it. Are you still gonna keep me in the restaurant?
hell no.
So how you can have a respectful conversation with people that are against your investment, and you telling me that you were in there having like a cordial conversation with people that are adamant against something that I own, that I have put my time and my money in.
Well, that's the thing. It was cordial for like
So what they were saying? They were saying Adam
like
Aaron is doing a good job.
3 minutes. 3 minutes, and then two people came in and they just attacked, and they said that I was a bot, that I was paid for, and I'm like, dude, look at my fucking. And then there was this guy that like went to my page, and he's like, all you do is share stuff. Oh, you don't have any opinions for yourself? And I'm like, well, the stuff that I share, like I kind of feel like the reason why I share it is because I kind of have like that's how I feel. Like, am I supposed to like post
I say, you know what, man? Like I said, like if you don't want to be in battle with those people, if you don't want to be in battle with those people, don't go into their spaces no more, man. Like me, I already said it. There's no more of that. And now we're gonna go back into the topics. We're gonna go
it's
back into the
pointless.
topics. Fuck Ethan. Fuck all those other people. All right. I don't
Yeah,
want to talk
it's
about them no more.
like seriously, it is pointless. Like, dude, I have not gone into one of those
Yo, Ghost, you're
one
about
of
to get
those
hit with the
calls.
ejecto cito, man. I'm warning you, man.
I
Yeah,
have
let's
not
get
gone
back into the
into.
topics.
I have not gone into one of those calls for like fucking 3 years. So listening to that, it's just like it's one-sided. It's so one-sided that it's like they don't even. And I try to throw numbers out. I try to throw out why would a company do this or do that, and they like just like everything was negative, negative, negative.
You seem to not understand that that's their job. Like, so we're just gonna move on from that. That's their job. They're
But
supposed to do that.
remember, they said it was my
Nah, it's
job.
okay. I don't want to hear
It
about
was
them.
my
Ethan can suck
job.
a cock. All right.
It was I was
Yo,
the boss.
Bleach,
I'll
only
just say,
5
Nick,
people
Hold
showed
on.
up.
Hold
just
on.
gonna close
Ready?
that off with next time you go into one of them spaces, bring the equalizer with you. Her name is Christine. She knows exactly how to handle.
I tried to have like a real conversation, and then just once Ethan came in, once this other like they just back each other, dude. Like
What they do is called like
their god, dude.
triangulation.
That's their god. Oh, you don't know how to read
But
numbers.
see,
You don't know what you're talking
again, we're
about.
doing their bidding by talking about these cocksuckers. Let's move on. Let's talk into the topics. Let's get back to the topics, man. Fuck them. All right. Enough.
Okay, look at how great we're doing. We're already freaking hitting over 176
Ejecto
million.
Cito.
Wait till our dude. I can't wait till our earnings meeting. I can't wait till our earnings meeting.
Ejecto Cito.
All right. All right. Let's
saying
get back. Where were we at, man? Where were we at before the Ethan stuff? What was that?
we were
You know,
talking
5
about
people
Decoding
showed up
yet.
to that court.
What was that again, sir?
No, I was saying, Bleach, you know, 5 people, I think about 5 people showed up to that lawsuit that day, the one that security was just talking about.
Oh yeah, Ethan.
Like
He was not allowed in, but like I said, like that's what they want. Like they want us to talk about them because they have nothing. They have nothing to talk about. Their job is to like what James said, is to disencourage new investors to get Adam Aaron out and put their guy in order for them to kill the company from within. But they already know that we got a guy in there that is a shareholder. By the way, he's the biggest AMC shareholder the AMC's got is Adam Aaron. All right. So if you're telling me that somebody, like I said, it's enough. So we're just gonna go back into the topics, man. You know what I mean? Because these people, they have nothing better to say. They will never have a cordial conversation with you. They
Hey
will never have
James.
anything to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
can is there a spot for co-host?
No, I have.
No.
There's a dirty spy in the space call that's related to Ethan, and he's under the alias as CEO Adam Arno. He's deep in the space. He
All
should
right,
be
I'm
kicked
gonna look
off.
for him. I'm gonna snipe him out. Get him the fuck out of here.
He's with the Matt Tribbles and Eaton. He's
Oh
from that
man.
It's okay. I
space.
really want Ethan
He
to
thinks
citizen arrest
I
me.
can't spot him.
Nah, man, you're gonna get hit with a cease
I
and
would
desist.
love him to show up.
I'm about yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of ejectocitos here in shortly.
Oh yeah, James, get it ready, man.
He's
Get
still
it
there.
ready. But all right. So are we gonna do hands or we're gonna go back into the topics? Cause see, like a lot of people want to come up, they want to talk. See what I mean? So what are we
Let's
gonna
get through
do?
our shit. Let's get through our shit first.
Yeah. Let's get going. Let's get it going.
So
we're gonna be here all night.
yeah, we are. So Decoding Cat and JP Morgan, correlations between the two.
Oh no, that little fuckface was telling me. Well, he challenged me to find the correlation between Pulte Holmes and J.P. Morgan Chase because he was like, "Oh, they don't." It was such a stupid thing for him to say because when you get to that level, it's impossible to not have a relationship with J.P. Morgan Chase. I mean, just a cursory Google search shows that Pulte Holmes uses J.P. Morgan Chase frequently. But really, that doesn't even matter that much. He was trying to discourage the idea that what prompted him to say that at all was somebody was saying, we're fighting the bad guys, the guys that are out there destroying the world, trafficking kids and this, that, and the other. And he was trying to be like, oh, no, that's, I mean, but there's no disputing what JP Morgan Chase has done. I'm not saying, Pulte Holmes is directly involved with anything relating to Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that. But it's a big spider web, you guys. And the Patrick Byrne video, it goes into so much more detail than I can even have time for. You guys will get sick of listening to me. But he does describe in detail the network in which that is facilitated, how they move the money around, how they have the money to get to this point, how they have the power and the ability to do these things, especially so openly to the point where, like, a lot of times they've lobbied to make illegal shit legal. So I say that to say this, like, it was a stupid challenge accepted, challenge completed in about 30 seconds. Just go on Google and type in Pulte Holmes JP Morgan Chase. At the very top is like them boasting on their own website about their relationship with JP. This shit is ridiculous, you guys. Just know that there are people out there listening. There are people out there who are intentionally getting information about what short sellers are doing, coordinated things short sellers are doing, so that they can front run the sentiment, so that they can get in here and try to position themselves in such a way so that they can file a lawsuit and maybe collect additional damages, because there's usually a multiplier. That's really all they're here. They're here for the fucking lawsuits, you guys. Don't let them have your time and effort. Don't go into their spaces. Don't get into arguments with them. Pretend like they don't fucking exist, because they don't need to. They don't matter. They're not shareholders. Don't even waste your energy on it. And that's why that Patrick Byrne video should be day one stuff, 101 level, basic for preschool baby apes. Because you need to steel your mind against that type of, it's psychological warfare, and it's on purpose. Just you gotta tune it out, man. Tune it out.
All right. We're gonna get to hands. I'm gonna do a music interlude, and then we're gonna go on to the next set of topics. So Lantern, Walter, and then Ghost. We're gonna give you one more try. I don't want to use the ejectocito.
All right. So I'm sure, I don't know if you guys know, but JP Morgan did officially file for bankruptcy today.
Oh,
Whoa.
That's worth a post. Holy shit.
Yeah. Where's that at? Where's that at?
I don't know if you guys, I have to go get the information. I can
That's
send it
big
to
news.
you. Yeah. I can
send it.
That, and they actually, I think he's getting into XRP. They're doing that aggressively now. So I think he's trying to jump into that because he knows everybody's going to jump into it. This whole, everybody's trying to find their own banking. This shit's about to blow. I'm looking forward to it.
I wonder if that's why you.
Yeah. And the question is, anybody know the actual number? I think it was like a 99999 number that was going around. I was looking for that information.
It got pushed back to April, I saw last.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That's interesting. That kind of
goes.
goes.
One moment. Give me a minute.
Just quick. That goes into my stretch because the JP Morgan bankruptcy. I wonder if that's why UBS is being pumped full of stock equity.
Oh, you can go to the next person. I was done.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think they can hear each other. Either Matt cannot hear finance, or the other way around. Go ahead, Matt.
Matt, we're gonna go into that right after we're done with hands, so we can go ahead and we can start talking about that. Walter.
Hey man, you know how I have
amateur hour financial questions for you and Matt sometimes.
And
Is it
you
okay
also
if I-
have amateur avatars, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, pal. So is it okay if I throw one of those, or would you want to do it later? I
You can
DM
throw
the
you can definitely throw one in. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so here's what was on my mind today. Um, so we've kind of had like an overall discussion about the macros and how to get yourself ready for like the coming downturn, and right, that's been like a big topic with you guys. And one thing I was thinking about is a lot of the prep that has been discussed has been about like what to buy and how to be in position with your wealth financially. And one thing I think is interesting to me because of who I deal with in my day-to-day life and people that I care about who are in a really different situation than any of us who have any kind of disposable income and have the ability to, our concerns are about where we place our wealth and how we position ourselves financially to be ready for a downturn. But I'm wondering, do you ever have thoughts to share about like how somebody who doesn't have disposable income and really doesn't have investments can be in a decent position when the shit hits the fan, like we're kind of expecting it to? Like, is
You
there a
saw in
game plan for
2000,
that?
not really, because if you
No.
saw in 2008, you saw people that were living out of their cars. They were at gas stations. They had their kids packed up in, the big ass Broncos back in the day. I mean, they had nothing. There was no warning. Nothing happened for them. They were just screwed.
All right.
It's
I just
sad.
But there's a little bit of a light at the end of that too, though. They're going to be
There,
much better off than some of the people that were on the other side of these bad bets that are going to be fundamentally, royally, criminally screwed. Some of these big players that are going to go down for a lot of this stuff, are going to be in way worse positions than the people that just don't have a lot to begin with. Yeah, they're going to be hurt by this, but these, they'll be able to pick their feet up and move on after this. Where someone who, like a Jamie Dimon or somebody, say they get, completely thrown under the bus on this, and their life is ruined. They're completely, they're charged with, lifetime in jail. Like their family wealth will be gone. And I'm not saying feel bad for those people, because they're going to deserve what they get, but at least you can feel better in knowing that when these markets crash, if that's what happens, the people who weren't really in it because they didn't have a whole lot of money in investments and things like that are going to be better off than someone like a Jamie Dimon that just
what ends up
is going to
happening
be.
when you have an economic turn like this, and when everything, the dust starts to settle, like the criminals actually get prosecuted, they go to jail or they get fined or whatever the case may be, you're giving the opportunities to the smaller businesses to actually grow. So by them being able to grow, they're actually able to give more jobs.
That's where I was going to go with. If currently, if you think that this downturn can happen, and you think that you'll come out of that downturn still having your job, great. But if you can honestly aren't sure if your job's, your business that you work for is gonna be able to weather that, look now. Or if it doesn't weather it, don't do the unemployment thing until you run out. Start looking right away, because there's going to be a lot of fucking people looking for jobs soon after that, and it's going to be harder to find one.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you think like hospitals are
I
a
think you're
Yeah,
safe if you're working at a
yeah, they're
hospital.
feels
safe.
like a stable employer,
Yeah,
right?
You want to be in a
they're
trade, any type of trade. So if you do air conditioning, you do plumbing, you do electrical work, you're fine. If you work at a nurse, you're fine. For people like me that are in the finance industry, I'm worthless. That's what it is.
If you're in manufacturing, as far as like housing manufacturings or even factories that make certain, you have to look to see, okay, is this something people are going to be buying in a tight economic situation? If they're not, their order levels are going to go down. They're probably going to end up going minimal staff. And if you're going to be one of the ones that are getting laid off, it's something to think about. Because just because you don't have the cash to set yourself up doesn't mean you can't put yourself in employment to be set up.
Yeah, that's actually, God, that's a good thought, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's why I ask.
Yeah, beautiful, man. And you know what? Something else, man. You got to think about this, man. The biggest wild card in all of this, apes. Some of these apes, man. God willing, or whatever fucking you believe in. Some of you guys are gonna walk away from this thing filthy, rich, with wealth beyond your belief. You're gonna have a surplus, and if you can hand a people or two, there you go, man. That didn't happen in 2008. None of those rich people helped nobody, but you probably will help some people. You know what I'm saying? So you do what you can do. So
Just,
goes.
I'm going to remember, I want everybody to remember this saying. If I can change one person's life every single day, I'm doing my job the right way.
And if
That's right.
kind of going off what Bleach was saying, like if any, if we can get any like snapshot view of what like the apes might be like after say a collapse and apes are on top because they were in the right investment. I mean, when I look at this community, I see more and more people that I consider good-hearted people or fundamentally strong people that are in this community. Yeah, we got the BS people that are around, but I would say, in my opinion, the people that I see more are good people at heart that are in this for market reform, that are holding because they love the movie theaters and they want to see their families do well. And those are the kinds of people that you want on top in the end of something like this anyway. So like, really you can tell when you see the people that start the bashing of the company or the CEO, or they're tired of this play because they thought that they were going to be rich, 3 years ago, and they're not. And it's like, well, those people with that mentality are much fewer than what I feel like I experience between a lot of you people that I meet here in these spaces and on Twitter. And so I do like what kind of what Bleach was saying. I feel good about the hands that a future economy might be in if it's left up to more people like us with this sort of mentality than the people who are the nefarious short type people, the short and distort, the unethical people that we hope to see are the ones that go down in this, and the cream of the crop, so to speak, rises to the top.
That's right, baby. Goes. What's up, man?
Nice. That's very Randy Savage of you just now.
Randy Savage.
The cream rises to the top.
Okay, I just want to say, I finally, through Amazon, was able to buy popcorn from AMC, and every time that I went there, dude, it was freaking sold out, and I finally was able to get it. And they they keep pushing it out further. So my date keeps pushing out further and further. So you're like, dude, it's been bought so much that I guarantee they can't even fucking feel it. It's almost like our shares.
For the
They
first time
just
ever,
they just
my
keep doing it.
Walmart
I'm
same way was sold
supposed to
out.
get it tomorrow, but dude, it's
How
been
many
almost a
bags?
month.
How many bags you got?
It's almost been a month since I got it, dude.
How
Like,
many
so
bags? How many bags?
I'm doing two. I'm
Two
doing
bags?
two.
That's it? Yo,
I,
murder. Get at
I
this guy.
just
Look at this shit. Two
I just
bags? That's
I
it?
just want to do.
Damn.
I want to taste it.
That's what you get for hanging out
Two,
with shills, man. Two
Because
bags?
two
well,
bags is two
well,
bags. Thank you for buying our product.
Yeah, you know what? Thank
here's
you,
the
man. I
thing.
appreciate it.
I've never tasted the popcorn. So why would I buy 100 bags if I've never tasted it? So
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's
I want
AMC's
I want to.
popcorn right there. This has been in business for 100 years. What you
I
talking
think
about?
what he means to say is he didn't know if he'd prefer the
No,
salted or the extra butter.
no, but that's the thing. It's the extra butter. I got the
Oh
extra
shit.
butter.
Oh
So
shit.
I
Yo, who
don't
the
know
The
how
fuck?
it
extra butter with
tastes.
the
Who
butter.
the
Oh
fuck is
shit.
this
So
shill?
I got
Never had AMC
I
popcorn.
All right, you guys got me fucked
Are
up.
you
Now
guys
I'm gonna
calling
make
me a
some popcorn
shill?
right now.
Are you guys seriously calling me a shill?
Oh shit.
Are you seriously calling me a shill?
2 bags, man?
I'm about to do ejectocito.
Nah. Don't do it.
Ejectocito, cuz.
This makes me sad. Like seriously,
Yeah,
like
you being you soft, man, goes, man. We
what
joking,
community
brother.
is
Thank you
this?
for buying the bags, man.
What community is this? Wow.
Whoa. You see
Wow.
that shield language?
Now,
What's going on?
Been here over
now,
3 years. Been over here. The thing is, you couldn't
3
even buy the
years? You only
popcorn. It
got
was
2
sold out.
bags?
It was sold out.
2
It was
bags
sold
though?
out.
2
You got to
bags
get
though?
I'm
got
finally able to get some freaking bags. I want to test it out first. I'm not gonna buy 100 bags if
Wait,
I
you
haven't
you know you
tested them
telling me that
out.
you don't see Chris Soika buying up the whole goddamn AMC like candy store? You didn't see that? You buying 2 bags?
Yo, he worked for FedNet.
Bleach. You got to
Oh
get a.
shit. Yo, for
Don't,
real?
don't say
Damn.
this, Shell. He just had some fun about the popcorn.
This is no fair, dude. This is no fair because I've already been on space calls. I got money coming in. I already said I'm gonna spend over fucking $5,000
Yo, how
coming up
much
on merch.
money you getting per click?
Yeah, FedNet.
Okay, so are you now? Are you guys? Whoa! Did I just hear that now you guys are kind of like treating me like the other people were? Like I'm getting fucking clicks. I'm fucking.
I've been here for 3 years and I'm prepared to spend dozens of dollars.
Yeah,
Yo.
I just said I'm gonna spend over fucking $5,000 on merch. Did I not? So, dude,
Nah, but thank you for the 2 bags though, Ghost, man. Like,
no.
thank you for the 2 bags,
I
man.
don't even want to hear this fucking anymore.
Thanks for your
Like,
$8.
listen,
man,
I
like-
hear this. You're not going to be yelling at me. You're not going to be yelling at my panel in any which way. And if you continue on this path, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove you.
Nah, but he's chilling, James. He's chilling. He's not, he's chilling.
This is
Nah,
not.
he's chilling. Ghost, it's all right, man. We only jokes over here, man. We joking, brother. Like, well, what's the problem, man? You bought 2 bags,
I hope you're joking because you guys just called me a shill.
I mean, like, dude, come on. You said
Hey,
you've been
yo,
here for
take
3
your
years, man. It's not like
$8.
you've been here for 2 days, man. Like, you getting tight like this over somebody saying you a shill? I come murder a shill every day. You don't see him over there crying, looking for, like. Yeah, murder is a shill.
Goddamn shill down.
Yo, suck my
Murder
dick,
just
Bleach.
kills all the popcorn. You're gonna pay for it.
Christine, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I just
What's
popped
going
a
on,
fresh
Christine?
bag.
Yo, suck this Puerto Rican plátano, Bleach.
Oh no.
Yo, Christina, how many bags you got? Didn't you get like 20 bags?
Okay, I was just gonna one up Ghost because I have no bags of popcorn.
Damn.
Yo, y'all some fucking shills, yo. Y'all make
All these
y'all
chills over
smart.
here, man. This Canada, man.
She's good.
Make me
Pay for my
fucking
clip,
sick.
bitch.
Go buy a Molin.
I wasn't really what
with a
I was
broken
gonna talk
mirror.
about Roland just now. Okay,
Fuck
listen up.
out of here.
Listen up. I wanted to listen, no, we're going back to what jobs are gonna be good. Like government mandated jobs. How about that?
Yeah.
EVs mandated.
I'm just gonna say that's as much
Go replace that mirror.
Afford. That's as much as I can afford. I don't have a lot of money, so I just want to fucking try this out. And then you guys fucking call me a shill, dude. That's
Man, you
fucked
still
up.
on that goes, man. We were joking, brother. Like, come on, man.
That was like 5 minutes ago. James, because
Yo,
I was.
Ghost,
Don't
please
take
let
this
it
the
go,
wrong
bro.
way, but I got off work and I fell asleep immediately with your space on, so I didn't really get to listen. But then, you know what woke me up and made me come to was I heard J.P. Morgan was filing for bankruptcy. Is that like just some kind of weird dream I had, or was that you?
No, that's real. We're really
What
talking
was
about that.
that?
Let's go back to that.
I
Shit.
pulled myself out of my dream to figure what the fuck, and I was tripping.
Good job,
And then
Chris.
you didn't talk about anything after that about that, so I'm tripping.
Yeah, that's because we're going to be literally going into bank stuff here and like.
Yeah, and the guy went to go look for the info. I think financial. He went to look for the info.
Yeah.
Who's financial?
The gentleman that said it.
Oh, who was that? Did I follow him?
Yeah, I don't know, but he got some green eyes, man. He looks scary, man. So
You better not be
I look the
lying.
other way.
You better not be
Yeah,
lying.
You guys know what makes this situation much more cute is that JP Morgan sponsors Citadel.
No.
And 42 other hedge funds and family offices.
Well, no, not just 42 other, but they're specifically a sponsor for Citadel, the biggest market maker, by the way.
Their family tree looks like a damn Christmas wreath.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, here comes Christina. This is the gentleman right here.
Where is he? Let me add him.
Lantern.
Green eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way,
All right, goes the last one, man, because we're gonna get back into the topics, man. What happened, man? Please don't be crying about the bags, man.
I'll say it, Christina. I don't love my government job, and you know that. But I guess in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So
Hey man, I get paid by the government, and I am really glad to be in that situation right now.
yeah, right. So here we are.
But
We're
you can't
hanging
buy
in
no popcorn, though. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm in Canada.
Man, excuses, man. Ghost.
Blame Canada.
Hold on, Ghost. What's up, man? You back? What's up?
I just want to say, like, seriously, like, it is kind of offensive. Like, I've been here with you, Bleach. I've been here with you.
Yo, this is
Can I
crazy.
bleach, please?
This was a
Hey, yo,
joke,
kick him
man.
out.
Oh, so
Okay.
sensitive.
Kick him out, bro.
Listen, you cannot be sensitive.
It was a joke, Ghost. We gotta get back into the topics, man. But it was a joke, man. Relax, brother. Relax. So the joke, man. I'm a shell. James is a shell.
I'm a
You know what I'm
shell.
saying? Like, relax, man. Go buy a mega bag. You know, AMC
Motherfucker said
leaders, man.
offensive.
But what you
Man,
need to
maybe
do
that's
is
why he went to go hang out with the shells, man, because the apes were mean on him for the 2 bags. Like, what's going on?
You're a grown ass man, chill.
All right, but yo, hey, Green Lantern, right? Lantern.
Yeah.
What was it that you found out about JP Morgan or was it JP
Because
Morgan?
I'm looking and I don't see anything, man.
yeah, it's not in the news yet. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be hidden. They're not going to let this get out, but Lantern did a good job. Go ahead, my friend. If you're there.
I don't see no lantern.
It's the gentleman with the green eyes, Christina.
I don't see nobody with... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, I think he's having connection issues, man.
He is having connection.
Finance filmmaker, that guy? Okay, I followed him because he's the only one that I didn't know. Shut up, you guys.
They're selling a position, basically liquidation. There was in talks of filing bankruptcy. They would have to have, in order to pull a move, they've been selling and closing out all of their alternative exchanges. This is from Penwire. JP Morgan Asset Management to transfer JP Morgan Active Bond ETF JBND to New York Stock Exchange from New York Stock Exchange ARCA is the title of the article. JBND employed a bottom-up, value-oriented approach that emphasizes security selection. It seeks to maximize total returns by investing primarily in a diversified portfolio of intermediate and long-term debt securities with a focus on securitized debt. I will post this up on top if I can, or Bleach, I'm going to send it over to you. And then you can post it.
Yo, y'all remember Static Shock in DC?
One of my favorites, man.
I heard it's in the making.
Man, that's a good movie. It will be a great movie. I gotta be honest with you.
Hell yeah, that was one of my favorite shows.
Yo, who would you cast though? Who would you cast if you was to cast somebody?
For Static Shock?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like Michael B. Jordan or something.
Wasn't he already? He was already somebody. Michael Jordan was already somebody. He was what's it called? In Black Panther.
Yeah, Killmonger.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't use him again. But
But
Bleach, I sent that
bro,
over
that's
to you.
Marvel, bro.
Oh, that's
Marvel.
right.
This is DC.
Yeah, you got me there, buddy.
Do not get that wrong.
Look at that. You don't know shit.
Nope, evidently I don't. And I don't claim to. Bleach, I sent you over that in
Yeah, I'm
DMs.
working on it right now.
All right, cool. So this way everybody can get a good read on that. If it's in regards to these ETFs, we're going to be talking about that here shortly. We're going to be going ahead and I'm going to play this song. It's 1 minute and 33 seconds. It's pretty much a demo. He's an ape, just like the rest of us. The artist is named Decoding.
Nigga, I'ma go to work. 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 Still game tight, nigga. Got it from my daddy, sensitive bang, nigga. Rolling in the jag, I'm sitting in man, young. Still I'm talking to your boy, I'm spitting at that nigga, yeah. So tell me how you think it feel. Writing the verse in the cell, walking through the valley in the shadow with the death, still flirting with the devil but never can get a meal. Feeling left out, hurt and neglected, working with acceptance.
You're listening to Financial Clusterfuck with your host, Security James.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Security Clusterfuck.
Yo, that shit was slapping.
I love it.
Well, here you go.
Nigga, I'ma go to work. Nigga, I'ma go to work. Still game tight, nigga. Got it from my daddy, sensitive bang, nigga. Rolling in the jag, I'm sitting in man, young. Still I'm talking to your boy, I'm spitting at that nigga, yeah. So tell me how you think it feel. Writing the verse in the cell, walking through the valley in the shadow with the death, still flirting with the devil but never can get a meal. Feeling left out, hurt and neglected, working with acceptance, I accept it. While back turned up real reckless, I had in the town and sit it down straight checked it. Mask up with the hoodie on the low. Plugging with Spank Boogie from the goal. This is shy ass nigga, so get out of line, nigga. Don't be looking, don't be eyeing down me and my nigga, yeah. Crack comes right before the destruction. Trust this, I'm prepared for the fall. Hit this thing, hit a lane, yeah, you only live once. Then we right back to the hood and we tear down the mall. Rob your worker for work, get back work for your worker to work. Try me, get murked with the jerk. Show the dumb jerk that the gun worked and dispersed with the merch. Then we dirt for the earth. Nigga, I'ma go to work. 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 Nigga, I'ma go to work.
That's his demo. You can go ahead. You can find it on Apple Music, Amazon, all that good shit if you want to go and give him a shout. He works hard, so that's why I like him. And he's going to help me record an intro for our space calls, which is going to be very interesting. That comes on the 18th. So he'll be involved with that.
Did you say he works hard?
Yeah, he works hard. He's going to go to work.
I can tell by the song.
I know. I figured you could. So that's my clusterfuck. Matt and I are going to talk about
You're
right
funny,
now
dog.
going into this, going into these ETFs, these banks, what exactly that they're doing, how are they losing money, how they're losing liquidity. They're also how it's correlated between the Mega 7 and also the S&P. Matt, you got some really good stuff, especially on these ETFs. Please go ahead and talk to everybody about it.
Okay, so I started digging into the ETF thing when I found that meme stock ETF, which was holding government securities. And then I realized that they delisted that ETF mid-December, except that the ETF is still price fluctuating a little bit, which then I read into, and it shows that they have some outstanding options yet to be liquidated. But when they liquidated that, all the assets, which were at a 50% value loss, got rolled into treasuries, bonds, and currencies, which I think they're probably using as a hold account until they figure out what they want to do next with that money. But the interesting thing is that then that's collateralized where they give money and get the bonds and the treasuries and through the window market. But what's interesting is that meme stock is a round hill ETF investment firm, and they pretty much have all kinds of ETFs, different ETFs. They have bond ETFs, they have short bond ETFs, they have meme ETFs, and then they have blue chip ETFs. But what's interesting when you look at some of the ETFs, there are large holdings of in that basket is a lot of treasury assets. And the other thing I noticed that was interesting about the meme ETF, MEME itself, is the 5% of the assets that were liquidated were assigned to hedge fund shorts. It literally says hedge fund shorts, 5% as an asset allocation. Now, 5% on an ETF doesn't sound like a lot, but when the ETF loses 50%, that could have been who knows how much percent it was from the closeout value. Now, the other interesting thing about Roundhill Assets is the guy who runs it, Andrew Paul Surowick. So I started investigating him. Well, I found that he was a previous derivative banker for Goldman Sachs. That was pretty much his second job, whole work history. Forget what his first one was. And he currently handles asset portfolios, mostly ETFs. He also works for another firm, I forget the name of, but they're an ETF creator. So they are advisors for hedge funds and asset managers to create ETFs as an alternate fund for their investors' money to invest in. Now, a lot of these Roundhill funds and the 95% of that meme fund that was held through Treasury securities was actually held in First America funds. Well, guess who's an asset manager for First American funds? Sarowit. So First America funds is in a lot of these ETFs. Like if I looked up 10 ETFs, that come up 4 or 5 times. He also currently works for UMB Bank. Now, UMB Bank, or what was that? United.
It is
Missouri Bank.
Yeah, correct.
And they basically bought an international swap affiliate or subordinate of JP Morgan. And the branch that UMB bought from JP Morgan basically handles international equity derivative swaps. Now, understand that this Andrew Paul Saworski is both a derivative export through Goldman Sachs, where he started, and really, really renowned in the ETF world. And I'm going to post some stuff up top that you can look at. But I mean, if you search his name in ETF, his name's like with this firm, handles this. He's an asset manager across 80% of the fucking list. His name comes up as an asset manager for them. So I don't know if he like works from his office at UMB Bank or Roundhill or the other ETF firm, but he also is an asset manager for the ETF company that makes and designs ETFs, which he helps to. So they say their business isn't investing or built or having ETFs themselves, but building ETFs for other asset managers and hedge funds. But if that was the case, then why would you need an asset? Why would you need his label as manager?
He's
Now,
also connected to Bill Ackman as well. Don't forget that.
yeah. Now,
That was my phone.
Another, which really ties in interestingly, because I saw that article then when they said about JP Morgan switching their ETF from New York Stock Exchange ARCA to the New York Stock Exchange because I watched a webinar that was one of the affiliates to one of the businesses that Andrew Paul Sarwick works for, but it was like one of the other people in that firm. One of the product managers at the New York Stock Exchange and another guy in the financial world who really was just holding the space for professionals to hear them talk about ETF products, which was interesting too, because they had classes. They had one class that was regular ETFs, transparent, and then they had what they called non-disclosed like ETFs, where they basically don't have to disclose what baskets they're holding it under it. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird because that kind of goes against the whole transparency thing. But I guess if it's a private fund, you don't have to disclose it anyway.
Transparency, there's a rule.
Yeah, yeah. There's funds where they don't have to, where they're non-transparent about what baskets are in the ETF. But the other thing that I found interesting is like that when they say asset investment, when you look at assets under an ETF, I don't know that they're holding any assets. The value,
No, they're
the
probably
ETF
not.
is who buys and who sells. The more people that buy, it's based on how well the firm's doing based on what? Based on what they're holding, because you don't know what they're hedging, what they're holding, what they're, it only shows you the top 10 things. So like if you have the 7 big ones and you have blue chip ETF, right? And it's got all 7 big ones in there and they're allocated a different amount.
The Mega
So,
7.
yeah, they might sell 20% of Apple to buy, 10% of Microsoft, and they increase and lower their positions that way. Or, unbeknownst to you, they could be saying, you know what, we don't like Tesla. So they could be long on the other 4 and short Tesla.
Yeah, probably. And I guarantee you they're doing that just with some of the
Right.
movements and the erratic movements that the Mega 7 has done.
Right. And when you got all these banks that have these mismarked long shorts, I wonder how much of that is ETFs, how much of that was run out.
The ETFs is
Double
the
exposure.
world case fuckery.
So the other thing that's interesting about UMB Bank, along with a lot of institutions, is that UBS shares in third quarter last year. I'm sorry, it was fourth quarter last year. It was just after the fourth quarter start, literally nosedived to $9 an hour from like 24 on one huge candle, bounced right back up, and then kind of traded up a little bit. But then I found this article that UBS, which in fourth quarter invested $70,000 in UMB, this fund that Andrew Paul Sarwick is part of, invested $70,000 worth of money into UBS's stock. That don't sound like a lot, but then in the first quarter, they upped their position by 25%. And I'm wondering if that $70,000 disclosure wasn't to prop up that $9 dip, or that
It had to have been.
dollars, right? And then I come to find that a bunch of institutions did this. And just because they say 70,000 last quarter doesn't tell you what they have invested in UBS before that.
Matt, were these all banks that were doing this $9 move?
It wasn't a $9. I mean, it was from 24 to $9.
No, that's what I meant. But
Yeah,
like, were these all banks?
I didn't look at the other banks to see if there was a correlation, because honestly, I've been like all over the internet right now. I was trying to get my shit organized to speak. But The interesting thing is that in this quarter already, is the article about, was a 25% increase by UMB into UBS for another 589 shares, right? They had 2,848 they got in fourth quarter for 70,000. They had another 589 beginning of this quarter, sometime in the last couple weeks, which was a 25% increase. And their share price went from 25 to almost 30. But when you look at that article, there was like 12 institutions listed in that article that invested in UBS. Now, why is that significant? Well, if you're a bank like UMB that deals a lot with treasuries and you're partnered with JP Morgan and you got a lot of risk involved in UBS not going under, right, or keeping them liquid, you buy their stock, you prop up their equity, you prop up their market cap. Market cap on a book value is a collateral liquidity asset. So if they become illiquid, they can use that collateral asset as leverage against losses or debt, which would keep them at above at their margin requirement. And if you have all these institutions doing that, maybe, just maybe, the Fed said, hey, you need to prop these guys up, buy their stock, pump their price up. Whatever assets you need to dump off your book, we'll take. We'll front you the treasury collateral, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that your books stay balanced. So it's a roundabout way of the Fed bailing in to an
The
offshore
banks.
bank through a U.S. institution.
What's interesting about it is that banks are the only ones that are actually able to prop up their own stocks. They can trade amongst each other to be able to do that, which I don't know how that's even possible, but realistically, that's what they're able to do. Lantern, what do you have?
No, I was gonna say that. Yeah, you're right about that. The whole bail-in. That's when they start talking about bail-ins. That's everybody should be worried. But do you guys remember? I think it was fourth quarter in September. I believe it was about a 1 point something trillion that they.
1.6.
Yeah, and recently they bailed themselves out. I believe it was this month,
All right,
but it was an
let me
emergency.
let me tell you something else that happened last quarter with um, Swiss, the Swiss bank.
HSBC.
No, the one that
UBS, Credit
yeah,
Suisse.
Oh, okay.
yeah, okay, it was UBS. Matter of fact, now you said that, because
Mm-hmm.
last quarter I saw UBS had a bank, a retail bank, just a regular savings and loan in New York. Well, this was after UBS got, from the Swiss National Bank, got the $20 billion backstop in
Mm-hmm.
order to keep them liquid in the takeover of Credit Suisse. UBS turned around, took their New York bank, and they got authorization to be a direct whatever affiliate with the Fed. So they could go direct to the Fed for liquidity
A
lending,
member,
swapping. Yeah, member.
or what is it? A government member, or
Yeah,
it's one of
yeah,
them.
swap member, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, then everybody's okay. So all the banks did that, right? Well, then right after they did that, UBS, Bank of Switzerland, UBS, went and told Swiss National Bank they were good. They didn't need liquidity, and they gave them back the $20 billion. And right after they gave them back the $20 billion, they moved their market branch business into the bank in New York. And lo and behold, what do you know? 35 billion, $50 billion increase in the overnight liquidity
Don't forget he scribbled that on the books. They didn't put that on the computers. So
So
it could be
once
more.
again, another example of, well, Swiss National Bank, here's your money back. We'll just move it to the U.S. and put it on the fucking U.S. taxpayers' dime.
Of course, because it's all going to fall on us. But Lantern, what did you have to say?
No. He pretty much touched it. Yeah, the
All right,
UB.
Good.
But going back to the point with the ETFs and all these firms and this crutching of UBS again through their stock equity, is the Fed now funding these institutions as a back favor for investing in UBS to crutch their market cap collateral.
We definitely need we need like a parody song for Fed Now. I'm going to challenge the musicians to make a parody song for Fed Now because they are honestly the biggest joke of all jokes that make jokes. And that's what they are. It's disgusting to me how they are literally keeping this Ponzi scheme that we call the stock market. Now it's the Ponzi scheme because there's no reason for any of this. How can the SPY, just as a perfect example, be 2% away from a new all-time high? That was yesterday, and then it hit it, and now we're at another new all-time high.
It's political.
It's
Oh,
BS.
it is 100% BS. And yes, Lantern, it is a political viewpoint because they don't want to be blamed. They were hanging their hat on being reelected with the stock market. Well, the stock market's the best it's ever been. Oh, please. Okay, explain to me this then.
I'm gonna go back real quick though. It's back four places. I did my Google search just on his name, and you can see all the ETFs that his name's listed in the description as part of the fund. There's 2 pages of that, and there's more than that. On the second page there, that last page has links. That's an SEC database to I want to say it's UMB or Roundhill. I'm not sure, but it's the registration for ETFs. So when you click on them links, it takes you to a page. Every one of them files is a listed ETF under that group that was added, and that's just in the last quarter, 2 quarters.
Wow.
There's pages of them, and then you go over to the next page. That's the article about the investing of UMB and other institutions in UBS, and then the next to last one is the chart showing the $9 spike drop, which I held and clicked so that it would show the date and then price movement that day. The last one is, which you'll want to get into that security because that's basically a bank chart that shows what HTMs as opposed to um, assets that are market to mark. The balances are out of this world. Like all of that, the blue is the HTM, the brown.
Did you send that to me?
It's in the nest. Yes, I think I did send that to you, DM. Yes.
All right, perfect. Because I'm on an emulator, so it's next to impossible for me to see up above.
It's interesting how their negative balance on that. Pretty much the equivalent of the Fed loan decrease or current, like it's 2x the Fed loan.
No, well, that's nothing. It's the Fed.
Now
They can just do whatever they want.
the dark blue is to hold to maturity, and what that means is that if they bought it 5 years ago at $10 or at $200, and it's currently at $2, but it's not mature, it's not expired, it's still on their books at $200.
We're talking about the asset allocation top holdings, which is the Federal Reserve Bank at 39.1, right?
Well, it's all banks.
Well, I know I get that, but I'm just saying that's what we're talking about, correct?
Yeah. So if they let's say they had bought Tesla at $400, and they wrapped it in a treasury swap, right? And they swapped it out to Fed. The Fed now has Tesla. They have the treasury swap, but the Tesla is on the books as a contract swap. So as a contract swap, if they derivatize that into a 3-year contract, it's on their books at a percentage of the purchase price. So it might be on the books at $350, and it will stay at $350 until the realized gain or loss at the maturity date. So if Tesla drops down to $250, that $100 loss per share doesn't show up on their balance sheet because it's HTM. It's still on their balance sheets at $350 per share. Now, market to mark means that the balance that gets put on the books by is market to mark, which means it's the last quarter's average price line within a margin above and below. So the average volatility swing based on the current price through the last quarter is how they mark it on the book. So it adjusts to the quarterly average. So if it's down 20% for that quarter and it's been averaging 20% down, they have to record it as 20% down. Now, if it's 20% down and before the end of the quarter, they don't want to record a 20% loss on that, they'll swap it for an derivative contract in order to make it a product that they can put on their hold to maturity line to maintain the book balance value to the expiration of the contract. And if they have something is hold to maturity because it lost money and now on a sudden it's up $100, they can go ahead and unwind that so they can record that they're up $100 on their balance book.
So are they re-recording this stuff for collateral?
Yeah, well, that's like assets sold, not yet purchased.
Yeah, correct.
So a lot of times when they get in trouble because they were unable to settle with the terms of a Fed contract, which you're seeing that more and more lately, if they're basically saying, yeah, we don't have the collateral to do that, and the Fed's just giving them an extension, but then fining them for being unable. And if you look at, I think, who was I looking at? Goldman. I want to say it was Goldman Sachs. If you look at their, yeah, it was Goldman Sachs, because when I was looking up that guy and saw he worked for Goldman Sachs, I come across their SEC filing, and I went to their reported events. They're loaded with inability to close on maturity dates with the Fed. They're fined for market longs as shorts, for illegal communications, and it's just like, you think 2021, 22 is bad, like 23 is 10 times worse. Like they're literally getting fined for everything they did from 2014 through, and they're just piling up.
And they don't care.
No, they don't care. And the messed up part about it is, like, cease and desist. It's like it don't even mean cease and desist because a lot of it's repetitive.
Mm-hmm. They're still going to do it. They got to make money. They don't have
Well,
any.
yeah, and that's the thing. And the Fed knows it, and they know they're screwed. But the Fed's going to get their money while they're holding their hand through it.
So this one of the bank's biggest ways to go ahead and actually have collateral, liquidity, hold margin, rehypothecate, commercial real estate. Now, you're seeing a bunch of these businesses that are, just basically mass firings. You're seeing a lot of companies that are reducing the size of their buildings, their offices, their people. The office buildings of the US are down 40% from the peak just over 2 years ago. Over the last year, office buildings prices are down a massive 30%. Currently, 1 in 5 office buildings that you are going to see that are vacant, 1 out of every 5 are vacant. They're done. Most of these office buildings hold large debt balances with high interest rates and failing cash flows. Delinquency rates are rising. This bleeds over into your residential real estate, where the default rate is almost on par with, guess what year? 2008. The reason why this is important is because these are the two biggest pieces of rehypothecated collateral that a bank can use.
And then the worst thing that has no collateral is the car loans.
So now what this happens is now you're putting yourself in a position where you have to garnish liquidity. You have to garnish money. You have to hold it for whatever you can. It's scramble mode. We got to get what we need. We need to meet our requirements. We got to get this. So here's the SPY. Look at it yesterday. Yesterday was an absolute shit show. And if anybody actually takes the time to chart the SPY, and I want you to do it on the inverse, and I want you to chart the VIX and literally look at the inverses between the two. Both of them are literally a 45-degree angle going up and a stair step. And on the way down on the VIX, it is literally a stair step going down.
Just that gap down yesterday was pretty similar to not too long ago.
No, of course. That's one of the reasons why this is important, because these are being propped and there's somebody that spreads pixie dust.
They're propping that bitch up like Japan propped up the bond market last year, and Europe propped up their bond market 2 years ago.
But because they have to, and that's why it's the biggest fucking joke you'll ever see. The S&P has moved in a literal straight line higher for the entirety of yesterday's trading. The whole day, it increased and added $500 billion in market cap. Yesterday, the index now stands less than 2% away from a fresh, new all-time high. And the funny thing is that it also happens to be the first day of 24 with a sharp move higher in the Mega 7. If you looked at the 7 mega stocks on day one of trading for the new year in 24, they literally went into a straight line going up. But we got to get liquidity. We got to get liquidity. We got to get liquidity. Let's pump the SPY. Okay, while we're pumping the SPY, what do we have to do? Oh, we have to short the VIX. Okay, we're going to short the VIX.
I want to add another thing to that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wonder or think about that they won't tell you, but that's why the Senate can't pass a budget, because they don't know how much they're going to need.
They don't have it, and that's the next point of it. So, okay, we have to short the VIX. We got to continue to short the VIX because we have to make sure the SPY goes up. And so everybody's happy because everybody thinks that this is a great market. The political powers that be, they're looking at this and they're hanging their hat on it. Look at what I've done. I've made the stock market the best it's ever been. It's the best thing ever. Well,
but if they okay, so their narrative is that we're too far in debt. We need to stop fucking spending. We need to stop fucking spending. But what they won't tell you, we can't stop spending because we don't know where to allocate the money, because we don't know how much the Fed needs.
No, we have no idea because they're completely insolvent.
The money that they have is authorized by the Senate, and they're almost dried up. They would be dried up had they not did the extension as business as usual as far as printing, and printed $1 trillion, $1.2 trillion in the last quarter.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is true. But if we really wanted to kick this thing in the balls and just be done, they never should have increased. They never should have increased the budget. They should have just let it all burn at that point and let it grow from the ashes. That's what they should have done. You would not have been in the mess that you're in now, because the mess that you're in now, I'm telling you now, is going to be bigger than 2008. It's going, let's multiply that by 10 and, you know, smoke some crack, because that's what you got. That's what it's going to be. So now, how big have the Mega 7 become? It's a ridiculous amount. The market cap of the Mega 7 is now 4 times that of the Russell 2000. Microsoft alone is the size of the entire stock market in Canada.
Hey, how many shares of retail small and mid cap collateral shares are we holding on to per one blue chip?
There's no way to know. There's no way to know, because you have no idea what money has been pumped into these Mega 7. No idea. And literally, these are all fake, false pretense pumps. Please explain to me how NVIDIA has added $130 billion to their market cap today.
And the other thing, like Telltale, banks operate on a macro.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to. That's
Yeah,
how
but they don't.
Well, they do and they don't. The majority should be on a macro. But when you look at the treasury equities, the volumes in the 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, as a ratio of their 10, 20, 30 year treasuries are absolutely upside down.
Doesn't surprise me.
They shouldn't be living fucking month to month, quarter to quarter, 6 months to 6 months.
But we do.
Yeah.
We do,
But,
so why can't they? I mean, that's pretty much what we're pushing them towards.
Yeah, but it costs too much. It costs too much to do that on that scale.
Oh, of course, because they're paying like over $13 billion in interest per day.
And then they mature, and then they just wrap it up, add to the basket, and extend the maturity for another quarter, another 6 months, another year. I mean, the Treasury literally 2 years ago tried to add a 50-year Treasury bond, and nobody wanted it.
No. I mean, just
I don't even think that was 2 years ago.
Hold on, December 15th. December 15th, they tried selling 3 $50 billion Treasury notes. And that was the reason why you had to push back the swaps. Just as past December 15th. There's nothing that they won't do to disguise the Ponzi scheme that we call the United States stock market.
And then also don't fall for that whole, well, the interest rates are going to drop. The interest rates are going to drop. That's not going to happen. That's not.
Hold on. I got it. I got the perfect thing for it. Here, ready?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate right there. Not what you said, but what the Fed's saying.
Yeah, they're trying. Well, the whole Wall Street's trying to. They're already pricing in for interest rate drops. Now, are they really? I don't fucking know. But they want you to believe that. They want you to believe that because they're trying to paint this rosy picture for confidence.
Inflation is out of control. They cannot drop rates. They can't because they cannot control the inflation one bit.
And then
it's been going fucking crazy.
Then you got the SEC saying, "Oh, we got hacked and we did not authorize the gold ETF yet." Bullshit.
God damn it! I signed up for the wrong thing on Pornhub. Shit.
They put that out because they to pump fucking their Bitcoin liquidity at the banks for an asset collateral value. And when they put that out, that is pure and simple fucking manipulation. Because people buy that thinking, I'm buying Bitcoin because it's going to go up because everybody's going to buy this gold ETF because the SEC is actually going to allow it. And then how long did they wait to come out and say, oh, don't they fucking know that got put out? Like, that I saw that they authorized that gold Bitcoin ETF like a week ago.
But Matt,
They
so
let it go for a week?
if that was like a pump and dump thing, okay, I was thinking about this. I don't know a ton about the crypto, but can they not see like wallets that, like, if anybody sold at the peak of that today, that nice bump,
They can see the positions.
so they can see like who.
No, it was a pump and dump for the bank.
They
The
can see like
SEC,
it was
the
hold
wallet
on, you have
names.
to
banks.
understand, Bitcoin is a collateral value for the bank, just like the treasuries are. So if you pump Bitcoin, if it's on their books at 20,000 and you pump Bitcoin up to 40,000, they just doubled their collateral
Right,
liquidity.
it's collateral. Okay, that
So
makes
the
sense.
SEC put that out themselves to create retail buying because the banks didn't have no fucking money to pump it like that. They didn't.
What are
I
they
mean,
going to do next?
they might have started it to kind of make it go with the news, and then let fucking a bunch of crypto maniacs buy into it, pump it up to fucking 40,000. Now the banks got double the asset collateral for their Bitcoin, and then a week later, Gary Gensler wants to come out and say, "Oh, we got hacked, and that was an unauthorized." Blah 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 blah.
Hold on, I
It
got
took
another
you a
one.
week to fucking come out and tell people that.
Hold on, I got another one, Matt. Ready? Oh, I got hacked. I went down wrong thing on Pornhub. We're going to be talking about the Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about the Bitcoin ETF, all that here really, really shortly. I want everybody to listen to this because this is the truth.
Better not be.
Yes. We're entering the fourth year of a down stock market. Is it time to sell? Have we hit bottom yet? What can you tell small investors who are really starting to worry? Just this. Relax. The market goes up, the market goes down. But over the long haul, the market goes up. Yes. Is there any chance that stocks might rebound this year? I'm really the wrong guy to ask. I got completely out of stocks in late '99, and I haven't followed the market since. You got out of the market 3 years ago? Yes. You see, around that time, we at Global Century became convinced that stocks were headed for a crash and that bonds were the safer bet. And we were right. My own bond portfolio is up nearly 30%.
But if you were moving out of stocks and into bonds 3 years ago, why were your brokers telling people like me to do the exact opposite?
Well, obviously, if you think, as we did, that stocks are heading down and you want to unload them before a crash, you have to convince somebody out there to buy them. That's just common sense. Yes. Back in the summer of 2001, I wanted to move money into some defense-related and home security stocks, but your brokers talked me out of it. Is that because you and your friends were buying those stocks and wanted to keep the price down? Exactly. We felt that with the 9/11 terror attacks coming up later in the summer, that sector of the market would probably triple in value. And once again, we were right. You knew in advance about 9/11? Basically, yes. So earlier when you said you didn't own any stocks, that was a lie, right? Correct. That was a lie. Yes.
Hi. Like a lot of us here, I followed your broker's advice, and over the last few years, I've lost 80% of my life savings.
That does not surprise me at all.
I'd just like to say that even though I think you're an evil person, and even though I came here intending to kill you, I've been really impressed with your honesty. Your kind of straight talk is rare in today's business world.
Thank you. At Global Century, we like to be completely upfront with our clients. That's why in our prospectus, we clearly state that our investment advice is often self-interested or deceitful and may work to a client's disadvantage. We think you deserve to know that.
For straight answers to your investment questions, stop by our offices for a free consultation.
Yes. It doesn't say that in the prospectus. Sure it does. No, it doesn't. Yes, it's in there. You have to read it. I've read it. It's not in there. You're right. It's not in there. I just assumed you hadn't read it. I appreciate your honesty. You bet.
Global Century Investment.
It's funny because it's
That's
so
hilarious.
damn true.
It's
Woof.
all true.
I'm surprised they got that out without getting in trouble, man. You
I,
know,
I
You know
skipped
what's
over a detail with that, Joe.
Wait a minute, I heard Guy. Did I
Yeah,
not
that's
hear?
Walter.
oh, hello.
Where's Walter?
That's Walter.
Actually, refresh that so it's not Walter anymore, but I guess you'll see it when you see it. I don't know how
I'll
that.
see it
Skid
when I
marks?
get off my emulator.
Yeah.
Ed, what were you gonna say?
There's,
oh
I don't know if anybody looked at what I put up in the nest then, but I just wanted to point out that Paul Sarowit, Andrew Paul Sarowit from Round Hill, is a portfolio manager for the First America funds for the UMB Bank, which has a JP Morgan International Investment operation leg that they bought. And part of his ETF management portfolios are ARC Investments and Investco, which Investco is one of the biggest 401k retirement pension fund firms.
Yeah, out of Houston, right?
There's Investcos everywhere. They have a Europe branch.
Yeah, their main office
Yeah.
is Houston.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so their main office is in Houston. There's a hair salon that somebody works at out of Houston. I wonder if it's correlated. Maybe you should look. Ed, what did you have to say?
I'm just gonna say what you just shared. This is probably how the devil sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know I'm evil, but I do it anyway. It doesn't matter.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I appreciate your brand of straight talk.
Yes, I appreciate your honesty. I really came here to kill you,
When
but
you say dance with the devil in the moonlight, are you talking about tequila?
no. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? It's a Joker saying from
It's from the
Batman.
Batman movie. Yeah.
Yep.
I recollect now.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Wait, I actually do
Different
Batman's voice
Batman.
here. Hold on.
I am black, man. God damn it.
By the way, who's going to see the new Joker? When it,
Yeah, that's Transformers.
I know it was like it was a robot. That's okay.
Yeah, just don't transform in front of us, man.
He turning into Decepticon.
No, I'm turning into a toaster. If I were to transform, I'm transforming into a toaster. That's how much I would transform.
spoiler,
I'd be the
It's a
most
marquee joke.
worthless transformer ever.
I'm gonna be a
spoiler
zombie.
alert, they killed Batman and brought him
I'm
back.
Canadian.
Wait, like the Hoover Dam Transformer?
Water.
That'd be kind of cool if they killed Robin, brought him back as an AI bot.
I'd be
Please,
the
I don't
old
need
sharpener
I
for
don't
the
need
pencil.
any more correlations in Batman of the biggestly gay duo. Like any more jokes with Robin in there, please. Just get him out. I don't need him. I really don't.
Do you
James,
guys remember
Not that
that
there's
pencil
anything wrong with that.
sharpener? The old one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, transform into that.
James, you be Ace, I'll be Gary.
Please, God, no. Please. In any way, shape, or form. So don't worry about that. Ed, we're going to go talk about Bitcoins and Bitcoin ETFs with Robert. Let's go.
Yeah, Robert, started off. I've talked so much.
Oh, yeah. You've really been on today. Let me tell you there, bud.
A lot of happy faces.
Oh, happy, joy, happy, joy. Rob, I haven't even heard you once yet.
So Bitcoin, okay. So they say last week, hey, we're about to roll this out. The next thing you know, today they say, hey, we got this going out today. Next thing you know, they say, oops, sorry, but we're not going to do it today. And mostly every single fund in the world has Bitcoin. And right now, there's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of facts, and I'm more in the view of that they're going to use it as a liquidity pool to pay Peter or steal it from Peter to pay Paul and pretty much get this over with.
I'm gonna correct you, Robert. It's they already use it, not they will use it.
Oh yeah, true.
I can agree with that. I can agree with both sides. I do think that this is going to be the liquidation that is going to start the seas from moving.
Or
They have
or
they have money.
or
They have to have money somewhere. This is the only form of illegal money, which is with more illegal money, and then you kind of put it in together, and then it makes the real more illegal money.
right.
This is
They're
James.
gonna
This is
use this non-money to relaunch FTX 2.0.
this is like the if you go back like a decade, this is like the Epstein Island of the finance world. Like they nobody knows what crypto was. They didn't know who was in it. They didn't know who ran it, and all of a sudden the banks want it. If the banks are saying they want it, they already had it. They never say anything before that. And that's why it's so correlated. For example, if you guys like what I tweeted today and showcased, the pump and dump that happened with the news, it's not something that happened like computerized, like, oh, they just set the price, because it was timed. It was specifically timed and it correlated with that, with whatever happened on Twitter with SEC. Like that is not an error or a mistake that happens. Something was going on behind the scenes where somebody was trying to set a price of it using high frequency trading. And you guys know who I talk about with that, with the whole market, how that's propped up. And all of that correlate. By the way, if you guys go back, I can put it up. The SPY, BlackRock, the banks, all of them at 1400 were pumped up by the same algorithms all together, while a large majority of the meme stocks were shorted down inversely to
No,
those.
they would never do that.
Oh yeah, it's guys, no. It's all supply and demand. It's the market, guys. It's bulls and it's bulls and bears, guys. There's nothing else. That's how the market
I
works.
heard you mention something about Epstein's Island. Did you hear that Oprah is making a new cuckoo clock? It's the Epstein clock. You get an Epstein clock, and you get an Epstein clock, and you get an Epstein clock, all down there. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, so the weird part. Here's the thing: you guys have seen it before. How the BlackRock management team or market managers, how they are meeting. You hear that all the time. Oh, they're meeting with the Fed. They're meeting with the SEC. They're meeting with all these banks, the J.P. Morgans, the Bank of Americas, all of them. They're all together, and all this planning and stuff. And then you hear like with SBF and the FTX having meetings with the SEC, because nothing like this happens. There is so much racketeering behind the scenes, in my honest opinion. There is no other reasoning behind these errors. These errors are not errors. They're like it's showcasing that there's something leaking, that somebody's running the strings behind this. I mean, like what you mentioned about the SPY, James. You look at Nvidia. Like, when was don't they have a chip shortage still?
They
Like
were
what?
the third. They were ranked like um like 30th from last.
Yeah, where's the chip shortage? But guys, apparently Nancy Pelosi removes that chip shortage. Apparently her trading completely obliterates and pumps up stocks when she wants it to. That's just another thing. That thing literally obliterated the SPY. Even the SPY made like what, new all-time high or something now, and Nvidia just completely crushed the SPY. I mean, it's just like, but hey guys, Citadel Ken Griffin said it's, guys, props to everybody who won on Nvidia. Everybody should get into that. So great. Just wait till they pull the plug on that thing.
The
But
7
yeah,
mega stops right now are they're almost having the same market cap of the entire United States stock. That's how big they are.
Just
My
seven
mega
So
stocks.
is
stuff has
down.
the same
amount of market cap as all of Canada and Japan combined.
Oh, that's more than that. India and the UK and those
Redonkulous.
4 combined.
There was one other aspect of my DD I forgot completely about, and it was the First America Funds and jury.
I love how you just came out of left
I,
field.
I,
I'm
I just
sorry.
posted the link. It goes to the Federal Report, and it has all their swap contracts dated, their maturity dates, and their values. And when you go through, and that's just one company, one industry, and all their collateralized treasury asset.
They swatted them, basically shorted a pip.
Did anybody hear him?
We have a.
James, we might lose you.
Yeah, you might want to come back out and come back in.
We're hearing the World War II beep boops.
I thought
That's
it was
the
poltergeist. Are you in the TV?
that's the problem with emulators is they'll crash after like a couple hours. So you
What did
may
you
be
say?
experiencing.
Emulate?
Yeah, he's on an emulator right now.
Oh.
It's like
Oh, he's using BlueStacks, right?
Is
right.
that an actual thing, or did you make that word up?
No,
No,
that's a
it's a real
thing.
thing.
Yeah, it's like it.
It literally sounds like one of those secret messages through the phones in World War II.
Yeah.
It's like beep 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 boop. We
Chris,
can't hear us.
they made them so that people could play like Android-based games on their PCs. And so that's like if you want to run Twitter off a PC, you get that software.
That's more info than I needed, but thank you.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. And so my experience with those things is they crash after a couple hours. So
You
I'm
were really
guessing that's what's going
serious. I thought you were just trying to
No,
sound
that's
nerdy.
what I had to do those music spaces.
Ed, can I ask a question? So this ETF situation, let's drive it back there before we get in trouble and muted by James. Um, so I don't really get it. Like, what are they trying to do? What is the purpose? Are they like it? Are
They're
they
trying to
gonna?
maintain collateral for their
Yes.
toxic derivatives.
My trick on avoiding that with the emulator. So I made an
It's
extra.
definitely not useful if I can avoid it on an emulator on my computer, because I can tell you right now that was some horse shit. There was so much truth being going on. It was great.
Okay. Well, if it helps, uh, I host the thing with a nice stable phone, and then run all my speech and sound effects and stuff through just an extra burner account off the emulator. So basically, just I'm hosting as my regular account on the phone, where I know that where I know it won't crash, and then I do all the speaking and music and everything through the emulator account, and then when it goes down, it doesn't rug the space.
We're gonna talk after this, so this way you can learn to me.
Totally, man. You just reach out.
Yeah, just because. Do you use BlueStacks?
I was using BlueStacks for a while, but it kept crashing, and I was like, I'll try to find something better. So I've been using LD Player, which I think is just maybe a little bit better, but it still crashes. And so on those Sunday spaces, what I do is I take it down every 45 minutes and restart it, just so it doesn't. It's all good. We'll talk.
We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, we'll get back into it here.
Yeah,
There's
you need to play with the settings, because there's like different options. You can choose a different device. You can choose a different provider in the settings of the BlueStacks.
Okay,
So
I
if you
will.
play around with that, maybe like there's like a little bit more consistency. But I
Well,
use
I'm confused.
BlueStacks, but yeah.
My computer's super. Yeah, when you see this, if you see this thing is massive. So, but anyway, we were talking about What were we talking about? Because I totally got cut off. I know
Well,
we were having a good
but
time
we
at
were
that point.
talking about how I don't really understand the ETF situation and that and the Bitcoin and
Well, I
how
definitely need
exactly
that for that
they
one.
want to use that. Like I just like for
ETFs
one,
are where they can hide the most amount of fuckery.
yeah, they sure can. That is the truth. So it's really hiding crime with crime. I already came up with that.
It's crime with
But
crime on top of debt with crime on top of
yeah.
their naked shorts with crime on synthetics with crime. It is everything. Everything's in
So
those
if
ETF baskets.
so just for my little concrete brain that likes to be linear, so we'll walk through. So we have a new product, it's ETF Bitcoin. So is that like
We have
actual Bitcoin?
ETF Bitcoin squared.
But it holds. So that's saying that the ETF holds some Bitcoin, actual Bitcoin.
No. It's
What
saying
is
that
it
it's
saying?
holding the fake version of Bitcoin, but they're considering it as the actual asset.
Oh, okay. They're
Tokenized.
not saying.
Yeah.
Tokenized.
Thank you,
It's
So is it
tokenized.
paper. It's
tokenized?
more like
Mhm.
paper than
No,
tokenized.
it's digital counterfeit of the actual coin.
Correct.
But is that what they're selling it as, or are they selling it as real?
They're
No,
selling
no,
it
they're
as
selling it as
real.
fake.
Yes. Okay.
No. They're selling it as real because it
Yeah.
has to be constituted as a real asset in that ETF.
Right, but it's
So
actually a
so so
fake.
to
It's fake.
it is. So to walk through this, I want to do it as though like this is how they are putting it out there. So they are selling you an ETF, which is a combination of things of assets, and they're and now pulling into it some Bitcoin, which they
It's a
purportedly
smorgasbord of
own.
crap.
They own it,
It's
right?
just
So
like
you can buy in.
FTX.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like a little mixed bag that has, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little sprinkle of fake Bitcoin. So then you can do that. So how? So that is basically just giving them liquidity. We think, like,
Yes.
Leveraged liquidity. Leveraged.
right.
So like FTX did a 1-to-1 with over leveraged assets. Just the same thing with ETFs, except they're doing it with
Yeah,
digital tokens or digital
just
counterfeits,
FTX
whatever
all
you want
over
to
again.
call it.
So they took down FTX and Coinbase so they could start their BlackRock
Bingo.
partners.
There was a reason behind FTX. The government wanted FTX's platform.
So so how are we going to stick it to them, because we need to be able to have some transparency to make sure this FTX situation doesn't
You're
happen
not going to get
again.
transparency with the SEC. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. But
Yeah,
how you
exactly.
beat them is by they have to come up with an actual nominal of amount. They have to come up with it. Remember, everything has to settle in the stock market. There's no matters that cannot settle.
So but they have to report how much Bitcoin they own,
Hmm.
and then in Bitcoin you can see these ledgers, right?
So,
Can you not?
yes, you can.
So you can see what's out there, and what wallet, like it's got to be one wallet, right?
I believe so.
Well,
So that
until you
seems
run into multiple wallets that are being shell swapped between other wallets,
Correct.
which
right.
So, but even
criminals
so,
use.
they still have to come up with the nominal amount. There's something that's notional. They have to be able to come up with that. If they don't,
Like they're gonna have to report to Securities Commission which wallet is theirs, would they not?
they're gonna have to. I don't know how that
Nope.
clusterfuck of a problem is going to work.
I know it's a hilarious question, Bleach. Shut up. But I mean, I'm just like you would think.
That's you know
Hey,
what?
Christina, let me ask you something. Do you believe the SEC was hacked today?
Dude, the SEC hacked itself today.
Gary Gensler
No,
told
Look at Spider-Man
Really?
Gary
memes.
Gensler
they
told
Look at
signed up
his
for the
Spider-Man.
assistant, yo,
wrong
here's the password.
Pornhub.
No.
They signed up for the wrong penis enlargement pills at Pornhub,
Oh my god.
and it crashed their
Dude, it's
computers. That's what it was.
wait, it's like here. Let me ask you guys this question: Do you guys think the SEC was watching the markets in 2008 when things crashed,
No, they
or
were
were
at
they
the strip
watching
club. They
porn?
were going
Oh
in and
no,
throwing
no.
$100 bills.
They were using literal government issued computers to watch porn and surf the
Yeah.
sites. That's actually what happened.
And when Ape was released, FINRA just shut off their whole system. So
I heard I heard the government laptops and government computers have loud speakers, by the way. So that's probably why.
That's probably why I got cut off earlier.
they
Uh,
should. What did You know what? You should watch all your porn in AMC theaters.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you here.
yes, you go rent the theater, a whole one, and just watch your porn. That's what you got to do.
Terrible
Goes
idea.
down.
Yeah, at least we're getting the money for. At least we're getting money for. It's increasing our bottom line because we're renting out a theater.
Man, man, what's up, man?
Hey,
Don't
what's
don't
up,
don't talk
Bleach?
about porn in AMC, all right?
Yeah.
Full disclosure, everybody, my account was hacked. I sold at 72. My account was hacked, just so that everybody knows.
Oh my god.
That's just the first thing. Second of all, I hope you all are doing well. My my assumption is that this is a liquidity grab. Basically, you will never, ever, ever have transparency, especially with these motherfuckers. They could sell, buy billions and trillions of Bitcoin back and forth. You will never know what it is. I assume that this ETF will function just like a fund that you're buying into, kind of like their own S&P 500, which is a mixed bag of performances, whatever. That's kind of like an index. So it has nothing to do with tokenized back one-to-one shares, all that stuff. You are playing on the performance of their ETF, their way of buying. It depends on what they bought for and sold for. So basically, it's if they tell you IPO $10, $100, $500, numbers out of my ass basically, and it goes up and down and back and forth, also out of my ass. And
What's amazing, Ahmed, and I'm sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you, my friend, but I'm going to. When you think about all this and how Bernie Madoff was such a big deal, and how when he was exposed and all this stuff and all the crime that he committed, they're doing the exact same thing at a larger scale and to the American public.
No, to the whole world. This is not only going to
Correct.
be a US based thing. The whole world can buy this ETF. And the amazing thing is they can put whatever the fucking numbers they want out there. They'll sell you the shit. You will buy the shit, no questions asked. That's instant liquidity right there because they already own the Bitcoin. So it's
But
not like they're going to take your
there's a
money.
big but,
Yeah, but
though.
hold on. It's not like they're going to take your money and go and every time you punch in money, they're going to buy you Bitcoin. No, they already bought the Bitcoin. Now you are paying on their performance. So it's just a complete liquidity grab. And I actually see this as somehow a good thing because this money will be used to pay you your MOAS. That's my opinion.
There you go
I'm just
again, man. There you go again,
I'm
man.
skeptical.
What?
I'm just skeptical that they're actually going
No,
to
no,
use that
no,
to
no,
open
no, no,
up.
no,
Yeah.
no. Skepticism.
Man.
No,
What?
no, 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 no.
What? It doesn't make sense to you, Bleach?
No, it's not. It's not. That
No,
don't
it
make no
makes
sense,
perfect
man. Nah,
sense.
man. Like, no, it's not. It's not gonna be for paying or anything, man. That's why you gotta learn like patience. You
Oh
know what I
no,
mean,
I meant it's a way for them to create instant
man? If
liquidity.
Ahmed, if there was a way for them to do anything, it would have been done already. You
They
see?
don't
They
want to pay
gotta have
anybody.
cash if
No, that's
anything's
what you
gonna
gotta
happen.
look. Let me put it to you like this, right? Like you see how we all chilling and laughing, right? You know,
Yeah,
we laughing at the SEC, right? Like how we don't believe them. And if you don't think that we are in something, let me put you straight right now, right? Look, the SEC made a video to make fun of you and me. Okay, remember that they
I
did
remember.
that. You know why they
I
did
remember.
that? Because they know that you know what they know. They know that we know. That's why they did that. Secondly, right? Secondly, we know that all of them are embedded with each other, right? There is not going to be no catalyst, man. There's not going to be nothing. The day it happens, when it does happen, it's going to be a day there's going to be sacrifices are going to be made. And you got to understand that. There are going to be big people that are going to go down. And that's the thing. Until you start seeing that, then you can say, this they're going to do this and they're going to do that. What I think they're going to do with this fucking Bitcoin shit is that they want to play all day, every day, 24/7. They want to look for money anywhere they can. Why? Because the big boys that are going to be loading up, those guys are the ones that are going to be safe. And trust me, these talks, I mean, I don't even know. I wish I was a fly on the wall, but I can tell you this. There's something coming, right? And they know that because these are people, they studied this for years. They've been on the markets. They know what's coming. The only difference this time around, and then I'm just saying this time because this has happened before, Amen. And I'm not talking about the stock market, but I'm talking about people have become wealthy because of a disaster of some sort. The wealth transfer from one hand to the other. It has happened already before in the past. It just happens that we are in our time. This is our time, right? And the thing is that you see what I see, and that's the problem. In 2008, remember, they were fucking sipping champagne, making fun of you, making fun of my dad losing his house. You know, that's the thing. That's why me, if they're listening in right now, I got all the time, baby. Because you know what? I don't gotta pay every day like you do. They gotta pay every day, not me.
I agree with everything you're saying, but like you just said, they gotta pay. Pay requires
No, no,
money.
no, 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 no. But that's the thing. That when the time comes, I mean, you see, when they need money, what do? They make up money. They find it somehow.
Or they issue a fucking ETF,
No,
bleach.
they just
But it
find
doesn't
it.
see, but you can't do that every single time without somebody going ahead and saying, "What's that?"
Somebody that
And that's
But
why
cares.
I put on that
James,
comedy bit.
James,
That's
James, think about it.
no,
Like
it doesn't. No,
they,
I'm not going into the skepticism realm. I'm going into the realm of reality. The realm of reality is the exact same thing that happened to Bernie Madoff. It is the exact same thing that happened in all of history. You're gonna get caught. It doesn't matter how you look at
Yeah,
it.
and until they have
Yeah,
that
You
bad
will
guy,
get
they
James,
caught.
until they have the bad guy, right, to point the
Yep,
finger at, that's when it's
correct.
gonna
except
happen.
they're all bad. That's the problem.
They're
That's
all
the
bad, but
problem. They
Genuinely.
here,
got to pick one of the bad guys, and all of them are pointing the finger at each other. All of
And
them
that's what
are.
that's
Then let's
that's
get
what
them
it's called,
all.
the
Fuck
rat
them up.
dungeon. It's called the rat dungeon for a reason, because they all eat each other until one is left.
Boom, boom. I
Party
like that.
time.
Well, what I
Hi,
mean,
Jim.
what do you
Happy
see, guys?
birthday.
What do you see happening now? You see they're all rats. They're all eating each other. I mean, look what happened with Silvergate. Look what happened with SVB. I mean, all of them, they're like getting eaten up until it's the big guys starting to eat each other, and that's when it's gonna get real fun. I mean,
Woo!
that's what I say. You're gonna see like the only thing that's gonna bring this thing down is that literally the hand of God. Like it's gotten
Yeah,
so
I like that.
bad that it's gonna come down. It's gonna be like a witness of a spiritual warfare, like a complete like it's gonna be it's gonna be so different from all the times. I guarantee it's gonna be different from all the times, because this
I
is
can't.
we've never seen it's this bad at all.
I just can't. I can't do it, and I won't do it in regards to equating religion or God to the stock market, because the stock market is greed. And what is greed? It is a seven deadly sin. There's no
Well, it's gonna be
correlation of
judged. That's the
religion.
thing.
It's the Wizard of Oz, and
No,
it's little.
and also what
That's
he
what I
meant, like
mean
I
by
like that though, James. To be honest, like literally, like if like the hand of God itself is coming down on the stock market, then I call Ahmed up right there. Ahmed, the most is happening. Like
Yeah,
I get what
exactly.
he's trying to say.
I'll find his number. I know we have his number in DMs, so I will definitely make sure I find it and said, "Hey, God just put the frog
Yeah,
pestilence down,
just
and
put the hair. We
everybody has
going.
a frog disease." That's exactly what I'll do.
But you know what?
Okay.
Until then, Ahmed. Until then, patience, man. Patience.
Yeah, bleach. Everything we're both saying is not contradictory. It's not negating anything. All I'm saying is they money needs to be raised. It's that simple. This is a way for a liquidity grab. Any way you cut it, it's a liquidity grab. Would
But
you
the
disagree?
liquidity, it has to be real.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not saying it's
You
not
know.
real. It's not fugazi. I'm just saying it's not like they have.
No, and you
James,
know
what
what?
I'm
And
saying
it's
is
true.
not. It's not like they're gonna take your money and go out and buy Bitcoin tomorrow. They
But
already
they,
have
but
a
they,
Bitcoin.
see, but the problem is they've already done a form of taking people's money, and
Hmm.
that's a bail in.
But you know what, James? Also, like Ahmed, I agree with you what you're saying, right? Like we're saying the same thing, kinda, right?
We
But the
are.
thing is,
Yeah.
right? Look, when you say something like, and I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, right? Like I'm not. Don't take it like that, right? We're just speaking out loud, right? But let's say that you say like, oh, that's gonna be like money that they're gonna grab to close some position, something. Somebody out there might listen to that, right? And not saying you, but anybody that might say it, like a YouTuber or anybody, they
Let me
listen to that.
let me just tell
No,
you
hold
one
on,
thing.
hold on, hold on.
All
Because
right,
I'm gonna give you a good example.
go ahead.
There was a guy that came earlier to the one space, right? Because he heard some news about the Bitcoin, right? And he went in, right? And he bought in and the news was fake. But then he started losing a little bit of money. I feel for that. But then he started blaming that on the hack or whatever. But you know something? I get it. That yes, true. We gotta blame the hack and all that stuff. But at the same time, when you're putting money on the stock market, whatever it is, it's a risk that you're taking. And you gotta understand that first and foremost, that it's a risk that you're taking. It's not a guarantee that you're gonna get your money out. You can put your money in right now
today and you wake up tomorrow, you might be broke. So that's what I'm saying. You see, this have to be accountabilities that got to be taken
Yeah, yeah.
against the person.
All this is fine, but can you just do me a favor and try to remember the scene in The Big Short where Selena Gomez was sitting on the poker table or
We're
the
talking.
blackjack
You're
table?
talking about CDOs and synthetic
Yeah,
CDOs and
but hold
betting
on.
on that. Go on.
Remember when he was talking about I bet that she will get this, and then the other guys, I'll bet that she bets that the derivative of the derivative of, remember that, where they were betting
CDO
on the
squared.
outcome of the outcome of the
Yes, sir.
outcome.
Yes, sir.
It's technically the same thing, technically.
There.
Where BlackRock already have those assets, and now you're betting or you're investing on their performance. So they already paid for those bitcoins. The money's already been paid and gone and everything. Now you are buying into their performance that they will create out of nowhere for your entertainment pleasure. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah, I get you, but you know one
That's
part.
the
You know one part of the
liquidity
big.
I'm talking about. Now that liquidity can be used as collateral, as margin, as
Yes, hundred
rehypothecation,
percent.
See,
whatever the hell
but
you want to talk about to
but
even
that's
raise
not
more
right.
capital.
But that's not right because anybody that's actually using that in the form of collateral will still have to go to a credit support annex and basically have that reviewed to see if it's actual collateral.
James, you know the leverage these guys get.
I
You know
just
what they do. They have ex chairmen working for the company.
I understand that, but that credit support
They were
annex is assigned from a completely outside source. They don't know.
I would argue we're all saying the same thing. It's all the dynamics and the whole what's the word I'm looking for? The transparency and all that stuff. It's yet to be whatever. Like let's say for example they need to raise cash now and navigate. This is a perfect way to do it to sail through the waters
Yeah,
until something else happens.
you know one big part of the Big Short that nobody ever wants to talk about, right? In that movie, and it's the most important part of the movie to me, at least, was when they called the guy Mark Bond, right? And he's talking to his guy, the numbers guy, and he said, he told him, yeah, Bernanke's coming out of the White House, and he was meeting with such and such.
I played it
You,
last week.
what was that?
I played that
Right. You see
scene
that?
last week.
That's the most important part in the movie. You know why that
There
phone
is.
call? You know why that was made? Because that was the meeting that decided everything. It decided that the stock market is gonna fall now. Everything is gonna fall now, and these are the sacrifices that are gonna be made. That's what I'm saying.
And
That's
you
the
don't
part
think Larry
that I want
Fink
to
has
get
a
to.
seat at that table?
What? What?
You don't think Larry Fink, the chairman of BlackRock, has a seat on that table?
I don't even know, man. But I'm just saying, like, that's not
Come
like,
on, Bleach.
one thing about me.
He's one of the magnificent five,
No,
seven,
he's not a part of the Magnificent Seven, but he is the one that basically governs a
The
bunch
the
of the
government.
government debt. So yes, he would have
it's
a
not the
seat on that
Magnificent
table.
Seven as in the company. It's the Magnificent Seven that sat on the round table. King Arthur round table type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the Magnificent Four, Five, Eight, 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
No,
The
no,
Knights
but
of the Round Table, basically.
thank you. That's what should have been said.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got confuzzled
Oh,
about.
that's what I meant.
So
He's one of the Knights of the Round Table. He has a hand in this whole thing.
I wouldn't doubt if he's a king.
Wouldn't either. Would not
That's
either.
I mean, because he manages all that government money.
All, but I bet you Gary Gensler's money is under his management.
I would guess that Gary's would be under Goldman Sachs, but
But you know
that's
what I
yeah,
mean. Yeah, like you
yeah.
get my gist. King Charles, whatever. Like he's got all the big players' money. The presidents of all the world countries, the leaders,
He
all the
got the
whatever,
power.
the cartels. You name it, he's in control of that money.
He's got the power.
Dun,
That's what he's got.
dun. Yeah.
So, but you go ahead, Jim.
What's up, guys?
What's happening?
Hey, Jim.
Oh,
What's going on, Jam?
what's happening, Bleach? What's happening?
Happy birthday, buddy.
Edward, Robert, everybody.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Hey,
Christina,
happy birthday.
thank you.
What up, Jim?
Thank you, Matt. What's up, guys? I just wanted to, Cornelius, you filthy animal.
Jim.
Oh,
Exactly.
Jim's on fire.
I'm just sitting there listening in and everything. And, Ahmed and Bleach going back and forth, and we're talking. The community's talking about the Bitcoin thing or whatever, and what happened with the Security Exchange Commission today. And people like us in this room right now, pretty much, You know, they're going to look at us and say conspiracy theories or whatever. But more importantly, right, we're talking about Bitcoin and we're talking about that gentleman that came in to the call earlier saying how much he lost because of speculation or whatever. I like what Bleach said. Nobody really ever even forced you to do anything. But the main thing that I want to say here is about crypto, right? With Bitcoin. Everybody, you guys remember Three Arrows,
Yeah.
the crypto
Yep.
exchange, right? How many of them did a rug pull, guys, on this crypto? And the crypto is not even regulated. So it would be in the best interest, in my opinion, for the Securities Exchange Commission to do something because they needed to do a pump and dump because they're getting their liquidation. James knows a lot about certain things, Edward, Bleach, all of us. When we put our brains together, at the end of the day, no matter how much, this is the way I feel, no matter how much to just keep on kicking the can down the road, it's like something's going to have to give. You know what I mean, James? Like something's
It
going to have
has
to
to.
fucking give. Yeah.
One
They
day,
raised the
real
debt
liquidity
ceiling.
is going to have to be exposed. Real
Some
liquidity.
someone's going to something's going to fucking blow. Something's going to blow. It did it in '08. It did it in '86, '87, whatever it was, and it's just we allow these people to come in here and do this kind of shit. And who are they? Who's the Securities Exchange Commission? These
Yeah, that's a,
politicians.
sorry, Jim. Go.
No, no, no. I'm good. I'm done.
I
I'm
was
on a
just gonna
rant.
say
I'm
that's kind
done.
of you made me think of something because you know back in 2007, 2007, like you heard in the news little rumblings about Lehman Brothers, right? And Bear Stearns before they happened, but it's like they gave it to you in little drips and drops, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then everybody's like, "Oh, you know, like after how many times did they say, you know, don't listen to it? They're going to be fine. Bear Stearns is fine, all that stuff."
Christina,
So
hey,
what are they
Christina,
doing
when
that with now?
When all that shit was happening, that's when AIG came in and said they're going to insure all these.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did. What
So is
happened to
it
AIG?
Bitcoin?
What happened to AIG? AIG failed as well. So it's just like, what are you people doing? And today, Christina, we have the power of the internet or whatever, calling them out this way instead of writing letters. You can say the mailman lost it or whatever. So times are changing, but someone's got to give. And James has always said that at the end of the day, someone's gonna have to pay. He told me that a year ago. This fucking guy, and he's right.
You sure
Someone
it
at the end
wasn't
of this,
3 years ago?
it, nah, nah. But regardless, like something's gonna have to give. And when the dominoes start falling, the small banks are gonna go on. They're gonna go out there. Then they're gonna hit the central bank. They're gonna be like, okay, so is it gonna be a bailout? Is it not gonna be a bailout? Nobody fucking knows. People
Yeah,
just
well, I
report
can
on.
tell you, you're not going to want a bailout if they try to say that we need a vote for a bailout. Everybody in this goddamn room needs to write to their constituents and uproar. If they ask for a bailout, you tell them no. Plain and simple.
They don't have it. They couldn't bail them out if they tried.
Oh, they
I
could
don't
print
think.
false money. Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
but the inflation that we're in already, we are in deep doo doo, man. They can't do that. They're
It
gonna.
doesn't matter if
They
you've
could.
already kicked the can. You might as well just try and do it some more to
Oh,
show
Venezuela.
face. That's
Argentina.
yeah, that's exactly what you're going to run into,
Yeah.
and that's why when they say, "Oh yeah, now we can pay you," that's because we've already destroyed everything.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Because look what they're stacking up. I mean, they just got a senator from Jersey. They literally raided his house. This guy had freaking goddamn bricks of gold inside his jackets, bro.
You remember
Like,
that's Menendez. Remember Christina
yeah.
when I was like, remember
Oh my
Christina
God,
when I was
totally.
like that? Oh my God, Bob Menendez. Do you remember
Yeah,
that moment?
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
what a
Ugh,
scuzz.
yeah,
What's up, guy?
Oh, nothing, man. Just
that's
listening
good,
to you
Mark.
guys.
It's truly amazing. It really is because. But the one thing is that no matter what, is that all these things have to settle. They do. No matter, I know you hear me say it all the time, but you can't pay something that's not there with something that's not there. You can't buy, a dozen eggs at the grocery store with, a Pretoria coin. Like you just can't. It doesn't work. In other words, with the ETFs and what's in these ETFs, if they're fake, they're real. It doesn't matter. You can't continuously use them because one day that money is going to have to be realized. It has to.
You know, James, I'm still back at my theory, and I think Robert will agree with me on this, that technically we're at the final macro break, which is going to happen before the end of this month.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm just I am yeah.
I,
You know
I,
me.
I know it's a different opinion, but
It is.
it still has to be presented, and we can agree to disagree. It's
I
okay.
totally agree with
We're
you.
very civil.
Robert, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was about to say, everyone gives a lot of credence or a lot of attention to Bitcoin, but no one's talking about the Ethereum ETF when you have an Ethereum wrapped AMC coin or token that's
True.
about to that that's the silent killer that nobody's talking about.
What
Well,
about the what?
Ethereum, Bitcoin, there's a few big hitters out there. I think that's what Robert's referring to.
So there's
Yeah,
still
the
they
Ethereum. Yeah,
Ethereum wrapped AMC like coins.
Yeah.
Where and who's listing those?
Probably every crypto exchange.
Oh, for fuck's sakes!
But like I said, I believe that they see what we see and then some. And at the end of this final macro, the one of the big players is gonna flip the switch. They're gonna recall the shares. They're gonna force the thing. They're gonna be hedged. They're gonna flip long
Why are they going to recall the shares?
because they already have a vested interest in it
No,
running
no, 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 no. Why are they going to recall the shares?
to basically.
That not about invested interest. Don't let's get
To
away from
flip
that.
long, right? To
What
flip
do you
long.
about James? If I own 100 houses,
I want the real shit that I borrowed you.
yes, exactly. Give it back to me.
That's
For
just
you,
leave it as simple as that.
for you to give it back to me, you have to go out and buy it from the market.
So
Now,
how do you buy it from the market when
it-
it's been oversold to trillions?
exactly. That's why the price will go to a number where we.
Correct. Thank you. But the reason why I'm saying it this way is because
Oh, we're speaking the same language. I'm just
we
saying
know we are, but we are
that,
100% are. But what I'm doing is that so so everybody's understanding they need the original
and the only way
shares.
they're going to get there and to get those original shares is if they pay exorbitant prices for them because we're the ones selling them. So until we get the price that we want to sell at that appeases them and that they have enough shares that they need, that is when they'll pay you what you need to be paid. Therefore, they know that and it's going to go to extreme numbers. That's why they will let it run, and they would have already taken a strong position and call options in order for that when it runs, they can recall those shares, forcing a major run up. Then they'll start getting out at the top or at a specific area, and then they will create major liquidity and start the process all over again. But this is the only way to do it. And they have to create liquidity from air, and they have to do it by the catalyst that I just told you. So somebody's going to get rug pulled, and it's not going to be us. It's going to be one of the players. It's definitely going to get rug pulled when they have to get the shares from the market to return the lent shares out. Because they're now, what are they going to profit from a $5 stock right now? Nothing. It's either goes to zero or it goes to what, $4? They have another dollar to make. They're not interested in that dollar. Now they want the $10,000. Now they want the thousand, the five, whatever number that you want to come up with. So now the smart thing to do is they've milked this cow till the very, very end. It's time to switch long. And the macro is saying the same exact thing. So that's why I'm sticking to my guns when I'm telling you this shit is going to end before the end of this month.
Wow, bold. I like
Yep.
it.
Yep. And I'm not the only one
I'm
saying
happy
that.
that you have some
I'm an
diamond
entire
balls right
board
there.
that's following this to a T with graphs and charts and everything. So I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm just giving you what I the collective information acquired from there. I'm just presenting it to you. I'm not.
Oh, absolutely. I understand
Yeah.
that, man. No,
So,
I understand.
but if
My thing is, you know my thing. I here.
But eventually, everything you're saying and Bleach is saying is that something has to happen and we gotta get paid. Okay, in order for that thing to happen, some things have to fall into place. Now,
No,
what are
somebody has to go down.
fair enough? And how do you get those
They
down?
do.
You
They
might.
all need to.
That's
Hmm.
one way to do it is to recall the shares and force them to pay exorbitant prices, therefore liquidating them, and you come out on top. That's a catalyst.
I want, so here's what we're going to do. If that happens, at the end of the month,
Okay.
I'm going to get a tattoo. The tattoo is going to be the George W with the two hanging nutsacks on either side, just for you. If you get that right, I promise you, I'll get that. I'll put it on my back.
I
I,
will hold you to
I,
that.
I
That's fine.
prefer
I don't care. I'll make a video for everybody to see.
I prefer my name right between your nipples.
Definitely not doing that. You will
Weird
get the
kink.
George W with the two hanging nutsacks.
Fair enough.
Robert, what's up?
So what's everyone think about the January 19th AMC ones disappearing like that with no open interest on throughout the whole thing?
Oh, they did? Oh.
What?
Crime. Do we have police sirens and sound effects? Let me look. Oh, we do. It did you honestly think that they weren't going to try some fuckery? I mean, that's just my sauce on that.
To me, it seems like someone got pretty much all of them were told get the f out.
Well, they don't even have them. Where are those? Are we talking about the AMC twos or the ones?
The ones.
Hmm.
Just look at the whole option on the put side, and you see nothing but zeros on the open interest all the way through almost
For the 19th?
for the 19th of January.
Wait, were they pushed back? Like, didn't they get some kind of extension?
And not only that, but the AMC twos they pretty much deleted all the ones on the high strikes on the puts. So they pretty much scalped all the top ones.
Oh, God.
Matt knows a lot about that. If Matt, can you chime in on that for the AMC one and the AMC two call contracts?
Yes. Okay. So basically, before they did the split it in, you had AMC options, right? When they did the split it in, your options prior to the split it in represented 100 shares. Well, since the options had to represent the dividend also, and it was a 1-for-1 issue, right? Post the split it in, they had to make an AMC2 option to allocate the dividend value under the contract issue, which means the split it in AMC2 were all the old contracts renamed, and they represented 100 shares of AMC and 100 shares of a split it in issue. And then once trading resumed after a period of time, they opened the options chain again, in which you were investing in just AMC again post split it into issue. So you could go back to just new contracts representing 100 shares of AMC. Now, during that process with Ape, I believe that they were swap contracting or derivative contracts under just the AMC CUSIP and deriving ATS contract basis. Remember, this isn't options contracts; they're derivative swap contracts. So you can take the options you have, use it as a collateral asset against a swap contract for liquidity. But they weren't. So they were allocating whatever ratio they wanted based on the combined prices against the combined float, and using only the AMC CUSIP number without the option type designator. So they didn't have the ape tag or the AMC ticker tag. That's why you had all that confusion where they were listing AMC's available shares as towards the end there 1 billion because of the ape liquidity, and the twofer it was 500 whatever million AMC, and then it was equally 500 whatever million ape, and then they liquidated some ape. So by the time we got to where they did the RS merger, you had 1 billion ape, 500 million AMC, right? So AMC only represented 1/3 of the total company available investment shares, whether it be ape or AMC combined. You had 1.5 billion. AMC representing, like I said, 1/3 of the total numerical shares available. Ape representing 2/3 at whatever percentage of the total value. So if Ape was $1 and AMC was 9, you had a combined value of 10, right? And a combined value of $10. But I don't know. You have to weight that by the 1/3, 2/3, and then put that against the combined available Ape and AMC shares combined, right? This way, this is how they were able to continue with the AMC options, both the AMC and the AMC2, which had the 100 ape designator, without having to have the actual 100 ape shares. So they could basically use that to short the price down, right? Now, when they did, go ahead if you have a question, Chris.
No, I didn't. I was saying, yep, you're right. Go on.
All right. So now, a year later, when we did the RS merger this past August, what they did was that, the other thing I forgot, when they did the RSM merger, when they did not the RSM merger, the split it in, right? They can't make new ape contracts because ape was not an option tradable equity. But so the only contracts that existed were the ones that got converted because you can't just close them out. So they're supposed to run their term to expiration. Now they can trade, but they don't close till expiration. So when you are buying and selling your AMC2, which a lot of brokers wouldn't let you do, it's because the market maker can't make new contract. So you're just buying and selling at the current value back and forth to somebody else, whoever's going to be holding it at whatever price they bought it for to whatever price they sell it at, and it just maintains its life until expiration. Now, what happened with the lawsuit for the reverse split merger, before I go into that, in the reverse split merger, you basically had the same thing happen. But they eliminated all the AMC ape combined.
Why would they do that?
Because they all got consolidated into swap contracts. And it was a year later, and they didn't issue any more, and the latest they went out was a year. So they all pretty much expired out. But when they did the RSM, all the AMC ones, which were just AMC, and then Ape was AMC2, right, with the combined, right? The AMC1 tag became AMC2 because it was pre-reverse split merger. Or I mean post-reverse split merger, it wasn't 100 shares of AMC anymore. It was 10 shares of AMC. You following me so far?
Yeah, I got you.
Right? Now, the 10 shares of AMC on that merger are still attached to the old CUSIP, which they can no longer make new contracts for because that CUSIP doesn't exist anymore.
So
now,
that
they can still use it for collateral derivative swap contracts and stuff and ledger it and all that stuff, but the actual options itself should have went to expiration.
So Matt, look up above. So Robert sent this to me. I'm posting it so everybody can see it. If you look at the January 19th, there's nothing.
Yes. Now here's what happened. Them contracts when Ape was there, because I was watching options then,
Mm-hmm.
and they had taken all the contracts and pushed them out to January 19th. 6 months, which kind of falls in line with your 6 month derivative swap contract out, expiration type timelines.
Correct.
Especially if you're backing them with bonds, right? You put a
Mhm.
6 month bond as collateral, take it off your fucking book, put the bond on your books and just sit on it.
Yep.
But since most retail wasn't able to trade these because they were considered a special contract option, right?
An experienced investor contract.
Yeah. So you have to be like an institution, or you have to really prove your worthiness to be
You
able
have
to
to take
have
a
access
test.
to that. So that allows the institutions to do all the derivative swap contract backing, collateralizing, and all that other stuff to kick the can. Now, they pushed all them out to the last available date, which at the time was January 19th. Now, what the lawsuit did, and I'm telling you right now, if any of them douchebags were ever standing right in front of me, I'd punch them in the fucking mouth.
Just like bleach.
Because what they did, and it's fine because I get why the Pennsylvania teacher pension fund did it, because they were part of the cabal. They were part of the fucking institutions that are over leveraged and at risk, and they needed to do something to be able to extend them contracts to be able to kick the can. And what they come up with is the post reverse split reward. Post reverse split merger reward. Because what that did, it wasn't even about how much of a reward. It was just about attaching something to them contracts with a new CUSIP.
They needed it.
Because what that reward did, since that got attached, now you have your 100 split to 10 plus the post-split reward share. That post-split reward share was rewarded with the new CUSIP. So now on them contracts, you have 10 of the old CUSIP, which should have
been wiped out,
not been able to been written up into new options, and could only be close only at expiration or exercise. And there's no way to just like say, oh, okay, I'm going to close that, wash, roll it over, and extend the timeline, which is what they did to get to the January 19th. That was the latest timeline available, right? When they added that share with the new CUSIP, now you got 10 shares under the old CUSIP, but you got that one share that's part of that contract with the new CUSIP. And because of that active CUSIP, that just became an active option. And all them January 19th contracts that were all rolled into that 6 month expiration that they couldn't kick the can on because you can't create more options on, now they can write up new options because of that one share with the new CUSIP that's under that option.
Just make me
If
barf.
you look, it's 11 shares.
Just make you barf.
And now I'm pretty sure everybody else in this room wants to punch him in the mouth too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I know I do. But if you're basically saying for the people that bought those contracts, and even if they try, I mean, what are you going to exercise it on worthless?
Well, no, they would actually have to close out that old CUSIP and go out and get the actual new CUSIP shares to deliver 10, 11. They would have had to get 10 of the new CUSIP to add to the one that's the right CUSIP in order to issue 11 shares. And even if they didn't exercise them, they would have had to come up with the money on the closeout for all them
Royal
extra
kick.
money.
That is a royal kick in the dick.
Right. And before anybody, because the first thing I thought of, and it really got under my skin at first, till I realized after some other research that we did on the whole Antera thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand, they needed that liquidity. I don't think people realize it, but the one bond that they had that was due in 24 that they just pushed out because of that liquidity raise
Mm-hmm.
got them out of their breach of contract because they didn't have enough restricted liquid cash on hand to fulfill their obligation under the contract terms.
We took
So
it.
they kind of had Adam in a bad spot because that would have cost them a lot more if they didn't get within terms of the contract. See, when you have a debt contract and you're required a certain amount of margin collateral, and them debt contracts also require more margin as the interest goes up. So it wasn't only hard on the banks, it was hard on companies and their debt too. So even though he had, what was he down to, like 600 million?
Yeah.
But you figure he had 5 billion, needed a 10%
Just on that one lien.
just on that one lien. In restricted cash means you have to have it there in liquid, right? Plus the interest, plus the margin on that 10%,
Blech.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't within his term agreements of restrictable cash covenant
What's interesting
or
that why they
obligation on the loan.
even try.
So I don't know if he knew or didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that doing that share post RSM was
Okay.
going to help them with their option issue. But at that point in time, I don't think he had a whole lot of choice, and I
Oh
don't
no, he
think it
didn't.
really mattered.
No, Adam Aaron was literally was back to the wall, and what happens when you're backed against the wall? You're gonna claw and bite and punch and do whatever you can to get out.
And they were fucking dragging their dick on
Mm-hmm.
that fucking hearing, doing anything to drag. Oh, we got to hear from you. They don't give a fuck about the investor. Oh, we got to let these people in on the list. They don't
Really,
give a
we're gonna
fuck
bring
about bringing
toothless.
people
We're
in.
gonna bring
Right?
Cletus the slack-jawed
Oh,
yokel
I
into
don't
court.
agree with the terms you agreed with. How much do you? I like Judge Zern, but I still wonder how much did she get paid to make them renegotiate the terms of that settlement to make sure that there was a back end share coming after the split.
That's I would say that's a great point. I really do. I think that is an excellent point. I like Judge Zern. Her past history shows that she is actually a good judge, or a chancellor. But it is money talks. That's what it is.
And even and I won't even say she got bribed into it. If
Mm-hmm.
the banks are coming to her and saying, "Look, we're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
If you could just like see what you can do to help us out here,"
Yeah. Here, hold on.
because
Let me just slide this.
and or the Fed maybe went to her and said, "Look," maybe the SEC went to her and said, "Look, it's this situation. Like, we don't need Adam Aaron knowing anything, but if you could kind of push for
His
these
narrative.
terms." And the funny thing is that they drug that out just to the point to where Adam Aaron really needed to be able to fucking liquidate something to get some cash on the books.
Correct. It's just find it funny how it's always last minute, and then we're gonna go ahead and do something to rectify a situation.
And honestly, when he issued that, I think that was the whole plan, was to get them locked up in them contracts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that you can't write more, that you're going to make them contracts expire and make them realize their gain loss value instead of their HTM values.
I
Hence the
firmly
term
agree.
checkmate.
Yeah, I'd say that's more of what we're seeing is where he's putting them in a position where they were not going to be able to at least kick that can any further.
Right.
He's putting a cap on as far as they could kick that can. Now are they going to, recycle the can into a new play? Yeah, probably. But what it does is it exponentiates their liability on that play. The further they have to kick that can, the further and further they are in the hole on the
Right.
outset of
And I
that
don't
play.
and I don't want to say the AMC 2 108 100 AMC disappeared. They got wrapped up in derivative swaps and then reallocated to the new AMC value under just the AMC. They took the
And
just
and
AMC
look at
2 thing
too
and they were
where we think there's many reasons why of market maker who is also the hedge fund who is short the company might want to keep the stock price down, but one of the big reasons for it is so that these call options cannot come into the money whatsoever. That these people will not be exercising for shares at those prices when they're keeping the prices as low as they are now.
You
So
can't have June of 21.
exactly. Then yeah, June of 21 and the
and
January 28th and even in March of 22 we saw a market event that they had to
right.
halt the stock, what, 6 7 times during the day
And I
of
want to
Yes.
add one
March
more key
22.
important point too when it comes to pricing and short risk.
Go ahead.
Not just the short risk, because longs, not us, longs, institutions
Mm.
who bought synthetic longs, because we all know that there's synthetic nakeds out there, and they're holding a naked long to that short. And if they're lending that out for short, and then on top of that, using that as a collateralized asset, they
Wouldn't surprise me.
can't have their side of it lose too much value either. They got to stay within their margin window of their collateral swap. So
Exactly.
if the price drops 20% like that on a sun, their side of the equal sign is off kilter with the swap collateral of whoever they swap traded with, right? And now they either got to come up with liquidity for the 20% loss, or they need to get the price back up to get them within their liquidity. So it's no different on a long side as it is on the short side when you're using it as a collateral asset for a derivative swap.
Do you mean to tell me that 2 plus 2 doesn't equal fish?
Well, it's like
And
one.
that's also look at how long it took them to bring it down from 72 to 60, 50, 40, back
I'm
up
just
to
bringing it down today. It's
40s and 50s, and
two and
then
a half
back
years.
down to 30, 20. Like they didn't drop it from 70, 60 to 10. You know what I mean? Because of like what you're saying, Matt, like where they couldn't also incur the loss at the same time also.
Right.
They
And if
couldn't.
you have a long have to fucking liquidate and have to call back the borrow, now you're fucking the short on the other side of that, because you have to call it back in order to
That's
close
why
it.
they had to drop it so for such a long period of time to take it to drop it all down.
So, okay, Ahmed, you got 2 seconds, and then I'm going
I'm
into
saying, like,
questions.
I don't understand.
We got Robert with his hand too.
I don't.
It was Robert too.
Sorry, I don't understand a lot of what Matt was saying, but it sounds very educated and makes a lot of sense. But I would imagine from the 3.8 or 4 million AMC subscribers, somebody like Matt, and maybe as knowledgeable or even more, sat with Adam Aaron, explained to him all the ins and outs of it, and Adam Aaron understood that he, like I said before, he give them enough rope to hang themselves.
Adam Aaron knows this already.
Exactly, and you had to
He
create.
actually hired a market
There
researcher,
you go. And you had
like
to
guy
create
on his
enough
work.
liquidity in order for him to navigate the period where he knew he would be attacked, and he knew that this was his window in order for him to grab as much cash that he can, so that he can sit on top of cash and navigate the way through. And then saying that, and having everything that's been said, he knew that eventually it has to come to an end at some point or another. And now he's in a much more powerful position, and he's watching it all play out, the checkmate that he was talking about. And the
We
final
can't
point,
use checkmate anymore. We're going to say decoding cat.
and he reached this limit that he knew that it would come to an end eventually. And I had another point that I wanted to make, but it escaped my mind right now. So if I remember it, I'll come back up.
Sounds great,
Oh
Robert.
yeah. So, and sorry, and the fact that some unknown buyers, and we don't, because he never disclosed who the actual swaps were with, they agreed to take shares in form of equity instead of cash. They would not take a failing company at higher than market prices for no reason. Because if you see and you know that the price is going down, why would you take those shares when you know that the price was eventually going to drop? If we understand the macro and all that crap I just told you earlier, why would you actually accept shares unless you had a need for those shares?
Oh,
Unless
because
you
I have to try and cover.
well, that, and then the fact that these are real shares that can be used for a lot of other things.
And you can
So
double
those,
dip.
there you go. But
You can collect on the collateral value through the interest rates value through treasury swaps while lending them out to shorts and collecting the short bar rate.
but the short interest is way down on those, so they're worth their
One
weight in
percent,
gold.
1% on
Yeah, they're
five
worth
six.
they're worth their weight in gold, not in terms of the short interest or the money they would get lent out, but the fact that they are real shares that can be used instead of me covering with
You're
a
forgetting
thousand
one
dollars a
aspect.
share.
They can collateral swap that with treasuries and collect 5, 6, 4% on treasuries on top of that 1%.
Correct.
and park it.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I said pretty much park it with a treasury, like Matt's saying. So there's ways to navigate through this and pretty much put themselves in a not really a secured spot, but like in a delayed position. But what I was yeah, but I mean yeah, I definitely
or
understand where you're coming from.
But
or sell them or sell them.
here's the thing that a lot of the nefarious people who are against the AMC will tell you that it's going bankrupt. Well, that's the thing. It's like none of them would be taking these shares if they thought the company was going to go bankrupt,
Thank you,
because
thank
then
you,
that collateral would
thank
be
you,
nothing.
thank you very much. That's number
Robert,
one. Number two, I could
wait,
sell them.
hold on. Robert,
Okay.
say what you had to say because he was the one, he got interrupted.
I mean, pretty much what I was about to say was damn it, I think I escaped my fudging mind. But I had to deal with something else. It just passed me for the minute.
You were talking about the parking of treasuries.
Yeah, eventually they run out of money and liquidity. They run out of space, and it all blows up all at once. And I think that's where Matt was going to go. And now Matt's trying to get to that point too. But it's all about collateral and liquidity, and they don't have it no more. Well, somewhat.
Right.
You
And the
need
Fed's
money.
trying to tighten up, so they're trying to unwind while they're basically needing the Fed to take on more. And
Yeah,
like this battle of the Fed trying to tighten and them needing loosening. So, I mean, they're expecting the rates to come down. That's why that's not happening, because there's no way that they can pull that liquidity to tighten. And you can say, oh well, the repo market came down there. It's down to what is it now, 700 billion?
Lower than that, yeah.
But anyhow, what you don't realize is that they're taking collateral assets off their books in order to create that bottom line cash liquidity in order to unwind the treasury lending. So the treasury is taking on the assets, freeing up the money on their books, and then the money on their books is going back to the Fed to unwind the overnight.
Yep.
exactly.
So we're gonna get into it's AMC time. This will be Q&A for questions about AMC. And I have a good one. So this is from my good buddy Jeff from across the pond. And it's a little long, but it's worth it. James, can you discuss an AMC hostile takeover? Lion mentioned it in his space today, or this morning,
Hey, can
basically
I drop
saying,
you on that title quick? Because there's one more thing I want to talk about before you move on to that.
okay, go ahead.
It's real quick. You have to remember too is that assets, that liquidity that AMC raised through his cash raising program, and the $1 billion that he paid off in the debts in the last couple of years. If you take the restricted cash value that he had to hold on the equivalent of $1 billion with margin, he might have had an additional 120 million of restricted cash that he
On
could
the side.
on that total balance of debt restricted cash. So now instead of needing like 600 million of his liquid cash restricted and unusable, he now needs like maybe 480, 500 million of restricted.
In that difference, that 200 million difference or 150 million difference can be used to go back into quarterly payments into the debt, which
And
then reduces
credit
that,
facility.
right, and reduces that future liability as well. So it's all a circular motion going on with the repayment of debt, taking off interest, and that lessens then the principal, which lessens the interest, and it's more revenues that they can retain as profits that then can be used to pay off debt, which then comes off the interest, and it's a cycle of paying it off and paying it off exponentially faster.
Hey, Matt, real quick, that amount that he came up to was from 600 all the way down to what was it, 470 something,
That one I
470 million?
got like 480, just under 480.
Yeah, yeah. We did the math over there in our chat, and we saw that too. So it's kind of, I'm glad that you pointed that out.
All right, James, you can go ahead now. Thank you.
Not a problem. So, can you guys discuss an AMC hostile takeover? Lion mentioned it in his space this morning, basically saying what would happen if we had a hostile takeover. Stock prices being driven down and institutions taking a bigger position and putting individuals on the board. So I went into an AI bot and asked the question, could AMC have a hostile takeover? It's possible for any publicly traded company, including AMC, to be the subject of a hostile takeover attempt. A hostile takeover occurs when an acquiring company seeks to take control of another company against their wishes, of its management and board of directors. This can involve making a direct offer to the target company's shareholders or engaging in other aggressive tactics to gain control. Case point, look at somebody. There's somebody out there. I've done 2 space calls about him. There's somebody out there that is sitting there and trying to do what he can to gain trust. So just have your eye. However,
Did you
hold
know
on.
AMC had a hostile takeover?
Yes, they do. But I'm gonna. We'll
No, I
answer.
mean they were hostily taken over
Mm-hmm.
leading up to January 21.
Yeah,
There's Mudrick.
Retail did a hostile takeover
we
of
sure
that
did.
and took it right out from underneath their nose.
Correct. However, it's important to note that there are various legal and regulatory mechanisms that companies can employ to defend against a hostile takeover, such as implementing poison pills, creating a staggered board, or seeking alternative acquisition offers. Additionally, the specific circumstances and dynamics of each situation will greatly influence the likelihood and outcome of a potential hostile takeover. So, one, they already have their poison pill set. AMC does. 2, they have their safeguards already made. They have the acquisitions that they've already done, Highcroft being one of them. And so they are protected and insulated from a hostile takeover, in my opinion. So I'm not really too involved, but what do you guys feel?
I have another DD thing that I did that has to do, and I forget. It's one of the board members of Digital,
Yeah.
Marathon Digital Holdings, and he ran an A&M acquisition and merger fund,
Okay.
right? He ran the fund that took over Odeon Cinemas.
Interesting.
And that was basically a bankruptcy, hostile takeover of Odeon Cinemas. And then he also took an entertainment company that was big in music production and stuff. And I forget what it was called. But what he did is he took them, merged them into one company. Now, the music production companies were mostly real estate in Europe. So what he
Okay.
did is he combined them and then turned the real estate into theater business to go with Odeon. And then AMC bought Odeon, which was still called Odeon, but also included the real estate that came with the leaser. It was a leaser basically.
Okay.
So they became one. So when he bought that, he not only got Odeon, he got the leaser. So he actually owns some of the buildings under the Odeon subordinate European branch. Now, I actually think it was the same firm that took over Odeon that was trying to group together with other institutions to do a hostile takeover of AMC at its lowest point. And then they would have had AMC, Odeon, and everything else that AMC bought over the years in order to get it at bottom line pricing to do a merger acquisition resale. And it's interesting because when they did that deal, it was through Susquehanna. And Odeon sued Susquehanna because they were pissed because they felt Susquehanna backdoor dealed it to AMC and underhanded devalue. They actually took a loss on the Odeon resale to AMC. So I think there's bad blood there that they were like, oh yeah, well fuck you, I'm gonna buy you now, and then I'm gonna sell you, and I'm gonna get my fucking money back, and fuck Susquehanna.
There's a part in, and everybody, I'm assuming, seen Moneyball, correct? I'm pretty sure it's with, what's his name? Brad Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt. There's a part in there where he's trying to get this closing picture from the Indians, the Cleveland Indians or Guardians now, but he's trying to go ahead and he's trying to get this closing picture. And he goes to the first, all of a sudden, the assistant GM calls and he says, hey, we want to get this guy. We need $250,000. And he, all of a sudden, assistant GM is on the phone with the owner and he starts shaking his head like, no. He's like, okay, well, tell him this. I'll pay for him. But next offseason, when it's time to shed his contract and I get double the money, I get to keep that money. And then all of a sudden, the owner says yes. Because he's not going to lose out on that. He's not going to lose out on a player that's going to go ahead and get that money. It's the same thing here.
Right. And I want to add another layer to that. The guy on Marathon that worked for that mergers and acquisition fund, right, is digitally savvy. also, but he's an independent board member. Like, not a, I forget what they call it. Anyhow, there's him, and then there's another one, and the other one has a history with Susquehanna. And I have a theory that because of the AMC tokenized securities, and then the swaps of the tokenized securities through Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, right? That instead of going to the blockchain market to buy the Bitcoin, they had a direct connection with Marathon Digital Holdings to direct buy the Bitcoin from the miner.
So it's not little guys in computer that are sitting there and that are digging for these digital coins?
Yep, that's what Marathon Digital is. They're one of the Bitcoin miners in the world. So why would you go to the market and compete for price when you can work out a wholesale deal with the miner?
I agree. You're going to get a way better pricing. Makes tons of sense. Question number 2. Reverse repos dropped again. What are the effects? Banks don't have money. Banks are losing liquidity. Banks are losing collateral. They continue to lose money. They're playing musical chairs with the institutions that are on this reverse repo because you're not going to get paid it. It's a day worth of liquidity. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just a day. Literally, it's one day. So you're going to go ahead. It makes more sense if I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invest money in, let's just say, a treasury, for example. So you're going to invest money into that treasury. So to keep me afloat for out that period of time, let's just say it's a 7-day. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put money in there while at the same time I can go ahead and collect from the reverse repo on a daily. And all I have to do is pay the interest on that. This way I can allocate more money to other investments. It's the simplest way to put it. What else did he want to know? Anybody have any thoughts on Tom Cruise signing with Warner Brothers? And does that affect AMC?
Well, I think that it does because he's obviously going to bring high quality film productions out. You know, Warner Brothers is essentially offering him a production company and a basically a place to do it out of. You know, I think that the effect on AMC is going to be that we know that through Top Gun Maverick and other franchises like Mission Impossible and that Tom Cruise is a superstar actor that his movies are going to do really well. So it's a great deal for movies in general, but also a great deal for AMC.
It's been a greater deal if we had given AMC the damn shares in 2021 and early 2022, we'd be where we're at now. And by third quarter 22, he would have been able to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. But
I couldn't. I do agree with that. I absolutely do agree with that. This is purely hypothetical, this question, but let's say the corruption comes out on AMC and the New York Stock Exchange halts trading. And while the stock is halted, Adam Aaron does a dividend. What happens?
You still receive a dividend.
That doesn't make
Well,
a
you're
difference.
still going to receive the dividend, but the trading's halt. So, what does that happen? It's 2 parts.
Yeah, I mean, well, if trading's halted. That means there's no buyers, there's no sellers. I mean,
equally fucked.
all right.
Equally
So
fucked.
my interpretation would be that you would get a ledger IOU of the dividend on your broker book value, And once the trading resumed, they would have to go to market, get that dividend share in order to deliver to your brokerage,
But you're
or
talking about shares. You're
negative,
talking about a
or
Shares
share
are money.
dividend of what
yeah,
a cash dividend
a
would
cash
just be
dividend
cash.
just that goes through the DTTC and the clearing. So yeah, that wouldn't have any bearing on the cash clearance because that has nothing to do with the exchange.
Got it. We'll chop that one up then. Um, how is the fuckery happening to AMC's market cap? You're telling me that a $9 billion company is less than $1 billion? Please explain.
So that is all boiled down to the manipulation of the stock price, because the market cap comically does not reflect the actual value of the company in any way whatsoever. I mean, when the market cap is less than the amount of cash on hand by the company, you're not even talking about assets. You're not even talking about property assets. You're not talking about the assets of trademarked retail, like the candy or the popcorn.
Total
You're not,
liquidation
yeah,
value.
the liquidation value. But also, there's also, AMC is not a company filing for bankruptcy, so you also have to imply future revenues into the value of a company. If AMC went and tried to sell this company on the market, they're not going to just sell it for the amount of cash on hand, like what the market cap would imply that the value of the company is. They would be selling for the total assets combined plus future revenue. Some sort of, they would want to get some sort of money for the future potential of the company. If you sold your company knowing that it's going to make billions of dollars per year in revenue for the next 50 years, you're not going to sell just for your asset value. You're going to also want to get some compensation for the future revenues that you're losing by selling the company. So market cap on AMC right now is a joke that it's not even as much as the cash on hand when you consider the implied value of not only the assets but the future revenues. So that can only mean that the stock price is manipulated because that there's a triumvirate that creates market cap equals share price equals shares outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is. Well, one of those things then is not what it seems to be, and that is obviously the market cap. The market cap for AMC should be much higher than it is, which would cause the share price to actually be higher. So it's obvious that they have manipulated the share price of AMC much lower than it should be at the implied value to what we see today, and that's why the market cap shows what it is, comically, to be less than just the cash on hand for the company.
One
Proof
of
of
these
that
things is
is
not like the other.
we have less equity value now than what we had after ape issue when we had an equity available of 1.5 billion shares combined. Now wrap your head around that. 1.5 billion shares combined. And we have less market cap now at 200 million shares total. And 200 million shares total is about 35-40% of the shares available, with 3 times the better asset number values, equity values, net values, sale values, gross values, as what we had in Q1 21. We are sitting where we were in after the J1 squeeze with, what is it, like 25-30%, 20% less debt,
20.
20% more than that, probably 30% less restricted cash.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 times the net from loss to gains.
So it's
A
20%.
popcorn company, a distribution company, candy, wine, and beer possibly on the way. Most likely, since he announced it. I'm sure they're still working it out, but it's happening. I don't think he can mention it if it isn't happening.
Agreed.
Just saying. What am I missing? Oh, music, concert,
Music concerts.
Merchandise.
Yeah.
dropping net negative theaters and picking up at least two of the top 5 theaters in the world for gross and net revenues.
He's done
Got,
everything he possibly can to improve the company from
we
a
got
Yet market
uh,
cap just goes down.
we got
exactly.
100% more blockbuster releases, even though we're still 30% short of pre-COVID.
And you got to also incorporate. You also have to incorporate $50 million in that whatever it is.
And we got whatever 3, 4 million, 30 million. I don't know what it is. Apes buying out all the popcorn and candy and going to the movies and A-list.
I think that the money that he saved on interest alone financed all the popcorn and candy and everything that he's doing now. So it fed itself basically with the internal money that he saved. It financed revenue generating streams for future money making opportunities with in-house money basically. And he
Oh
created
yeah, the
liquidity.
other thing I would say Q1 we were at 430 million shares,
Yeah.
and we're at under 2 right now.
About probably 240, 230. I need to look.
That's total, but that's counting the restricted company share. I think we're at like 198, unless
Yeah.
it wasn't updated yet.
Yeah. Correct.
Traded shares, I think, is like 198.
It's funny. I'm going to kind of go into the final word because we're going to wind this thing down because I know everybody's got to work here tomorrow and everything else. But it all is crime. It is all greed. It is all things that you were brought up from a young age that don't take from your fellow man. Don't go and steal. Don't go and don't lie. Everything that they've been doing is basically pointing the finger at other people. Here's the boss here. Here's boss. No, that's the person who's doing it. No, it's this person that's doing it. But here, it's that. No. And you know what? I just thought of a new name. It's that guy. You know, he flew in a plane, and that plane went to, in a circle around the globe, and then it landed in our Antarctica. They have to find a fall guy. But while we're all sitting here and trying to discuss and trying to go ahead and actually figure out who that is, we're also at the same point in all this where what's the right lie that they're going to tell us? They have to get the lie right because they can never tell us the truth. If they ever sat there and actually told us the truth on anything, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a revolution beforehand. But you're still putting us in a position where, okay, we don't really trust this guy, but I mean, this guy just looks like an outright liar. So I get my choices of a liar and an outright liar, or I get someone with dementia and not, but he's a liar. I mean, what are you supposed to do here? Is the question. And until we go ahead and basically find the root problem, that's what we're stuck with. I'm going to play a clip. Matt, I'm going to hold your hand until after this clip because the clip is called Who's the Boss?
I want you to understand, we don't do anything illegal whatsoever. I mean, you could talk to the SEC. They were at my office 15 times over the last 6 months. So, I mean, I got nothing to hide.
Well, you know, the SEC is a civil regulatory agency. We pursue criminal activity.
Exactly. You go after real criminals, which makes me wonder what the hell you're investigating me for. I mean, honestly, what is it that you think that we did or do? I don't get it.
Well, Jordan, I can't discuss an ongoing investigation.
No, I get that. No, I understand.
With that said, this case got dumped on my desk.
Did it?
You know, by a higher-up who needs to make a show of looking into the new company on the block, you know, with all the press and everything, and then I end up being the schmuck who does the looking. Exactly.
It just, you know, it bothers me. We're the new guy, and we're the one that's banging on Wall Street's door. I mean, you should see what's going on at the bigger firms. I mean, I know all the information. It's true. Goldman, the Lehman Brothers, Merrill, collateralized debt obligations, this internet stock bullshit. I mean, it's a fucking travesty. I mean, I could take you step by step to what exactly is occurring. You know, all you have to do is ask. I'm available.
It's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why a little sit-down like this can't be profitable for the both of us.
It should, right? It should profit the both of us.
It should.
Look, I'm going to give you my personal line. 5 days a week, you just call me, feel free.
I'll do that.
Great. Are you sure you guys don't want something to drink? I mean, you're not hungry? Nothing? Nothing?
Oh, no.
No? Let me ask you, and if you don't want to get too personal, just tell me to shut up at any time. Did you try to get your broker's license at one time? Did I hear that right? Were you trying to take a stab at Wall Street? No?
Who you been talking to? Who the fuck you been
Why
talking to?
you investigating me? I hear things, you know what I mean? You ever think about what would have happened if you would have, you know, stayed the course?
You know what? When I'm riding home on the subway and my balls are fucking sweating, I'm wearing the same suit 3 days in a row. Yeah, you bet I did. I've thought about it before. Who wouldn't, right?
All right, who fucking wouldn't? I mean, what do you get? Another personal question you don't need to answer.
No, that's all right, Jordan.
What are you pulling? 50, 60K, something like that? A year?
Oh.
Ballpark?
Well, let's put it this way. You get a free handgun when you sign up for the Bureau.
No, but it
What do
fucking
you do?
pisses me off. You know what I mean? You think about the people that built this country, hardworking people like you. You know, firefighters, teachers, FBI agents. End of the day, you guys get fucking skinned alive financially. It fucking makes me angry. Now, that's the one thing about Wall Street and this market is, for me, I feel it's good to give back. You know, there's situations where I can make those situations better for people. You know.
Opportunity is everything.
Exactly. Hey, for example, I got this one kid, right? Went to school for environmental science, something like that. He was bogged down by student loans. Turns out his mother needed triple bypass surgery. Right. Horrible situation. Sure. But we got him in at the market at the right time, chose the right stock. We gave him the right guidance. Boom, overnight, changed his entire life. You know, got to put his mother into the best hospital in New York City. It didn't work out for her. Granted, she passed away, unfortunately, but we gave him that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's just about setting up the right team, and then overnight, your life can change.
What if it was an intern, what is an intern making a deal like that?
Well, in that situation, I mean, in that particular trade, and with one trade, north of $500,000. And I do that for anybody, you know, anybody that needs the proper guidance.
Can you say that again? Just the way you said it. Just the same way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Just say the same thing. I think what Jordan just did is if I'm not mistaken. No. You just tried to bribe a federal officer.
No, technically I didn't bribe anybody.
No, that's not the
Technically,
conversation I heard,
no.
Jordan.
According to the U.S. criminal code, there needs to be an exact dollar figure for the exchange of services. That would not hold up in a court of law.
That's not how I heard it.
No. That's the truth. But I want to tell you this.
Yeah.
The same gentleman that told me that you tried to get your broker's license also told me that you were a straight arrow.
You ran a security check on me.
Well, you know, when you sail on a boat fit for a Bond villain, sometimes you need to play the part, right? I think it's time you both get the fuck off my boat. What do you say?
You know, Jordan, I'll tell you something. Most of the Wall Street jackasses that I bust,
Yeah.
they're to the manor born.
Is that right?
Yeah. Their fathers are douchebags, just like their fathers before them. But you, Jordan, you got this way all on your own.
Did I?
Good for you, little man.
Little man.
Good for you.
Me, the little man.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something else. Honestly, I'm not bullshitting here. This is one of the nicest boats that I've ever been on. I gotta tell you.
I bet it is.
And you know what I was just thinking too? The fucking hero that I'm gonna be back at the office when the bureau seizes this fucking boat, because I mean, fuckity fuck, Jordan. Look at this thing. It's beautiful. If you get the beautiful girls there, it's wonderful.
All right, get the fuck off my boat.
I'm sure we'll be seeing each other real soon.
I'm sure. Good luck on that subway ride home to your miserable, ugly fucking wives. I'm gonna have Heidi lick some caviar off my balls in the meantime. Hey, you guys wanna take some lobsters for your ride home? Fucking miserable pricks. I know you can't afford them. Fucking cheap.
It's so true. And that's what you deal with. And that's the sad part of society today. Matt, what's up? Did your hand fall off?
No, I was just gonna bring up. I was looking at I don't know if anybody looked at Q4 holdings changes. Just want to make sure everybody understands that they did not decrease their positions. Their positions decreased as a result of the split value of the reverse merger split value. So like when you look at Vanguard, right, and you say, well, they had this many shares. Well, okay, if they had 160 million shares post split, they would have had 16 million, right? So when you're looking at 17 million, even though it says they decreased by 70 whatever percent, you have to understand that on a 1 for 10, the actual decrease would have been 90%, which means to be at 70%, they would have had to increase their position by 20% post reverse split merger. So when you're looking at that, it's misleading. Don't let the fucking fudders tell you different. The other thing I noticed when I was been looking through it is the put to call ratios are
staggering.
The calls are of higher quantity than the puts, and a lot of the puts actually closed their puts. There's only one fund shorting it, some brand new 2023 Franklin Templeton out of New York, right? But now, mind you, that's reported short position. So, and you don't know. Honestly, I think they get around reporting by parking them in the Fed. Because if they have asset value and they park them in the Fed, they're no longer on their books to report. But when they mature and they become to their maturity date and they got to unwind that and buy that capital back off the Fed, right, and put it back on their books, that's where the problems are going to come in.
That sounds like fun for me. Problems for them, fun for me. Fun for all you. That's what it comes down to. If you guys have any questions and you want them answered, DM them to me. I'll be more than happy. I'm going to answer any questions that you guys have. If I do like the question, I will pose it on the next space call, just so this way you do get your question answered, whether it's by me or the panel or the people that are up here. You know, we're here for you. We want to make sure that we succeed. It's not all about us. It's our personal investment, but We're a family. We're a community. We're here together. And we're all scraping and crawling for information and trying to learn. Why? Because we're going to better ourselves. And knowledge is power. And that's how we win. Guys, I want to thank everybody that came up tonight. Thank you for a wonderful show. And you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'll see you again on Friday. You guys have a good night.